Fasten your seatbelts. The most requested home tour has just begun. We are on a very private piece of property with its own runway. Everything about this home was intentionally designed for the homeowners to consider aging in place as well as leaving a legacy. And this is certainly a legacy home. As we fly in, we can see two beautiful waterfalls. And if you decide to drive to the property, you're greeted by this magnificent portico, which allows you to pull right up and unload your baggage. We've got a double front door, 8 feet tall, that's 6 feet wide. And take a look at the windows that surround it. All this ties perfectly with the grandeur that we have of a portico area. We've got great vaulted ceilings, and take a look at the metalwork on these craftsman style trusses. Supporting this roof system, we've got 12 by 12 big, massive hand-hewn beams supporting the perimeter of this. This is not an ordinary garage. It looks just as beautiful as the rest of the home. We've got a great covered area. Take a look at the timbers coming down between each garage bay. When pairing the feature wall of that entry, as well as this grand portico, it makes for an impressive statement on this home. As we make our way to the pool area, take a look at the extended overhangs that we have on the gables, as well as the edge of the portico. We've got that beautiful craftsman style truss right over here. When hosting, this is where everyone gravitates to. We've got terrific outdoor spaces, an outdoor kitchen, fire pit area, of course the pool, and plenty of seating around the perimeter. What's great about this layout is that we have a terrific flow from this space directly into the home. Take a look at those patio doors and how wide they are. When you open those up, it allows for a continuous flow from the inside to this outdoor gathering space. The grandchildren love coming over and using the splash pad. This pool has many considerations. So not only could it be a splash pad, but you could also bring in lounge chairs to this space. Also, how often do you have seating within a pool? That's what makes this so perfect. With friends flying in regularly, the homeowners thought it would be fun to have gable dormers up in this roof system, allowing you to still see the planes as they fly by. Even if you don't need that additional light or that view, it offers great architectural interest when viewing this structure. Take a look at how it just changes the aesthetic of a very large roof area and adds a lot more architectural interest. When we engineer our homes, we take it to a whole new level. Take a look at the way this beam continues over onto the post, carrying the load of the timber truss and the roof structure above it onto the concrete piers with that beautiful quarry stone. Speaking of stone, you can't overlook this incredible fireplace chase. It continues the entire height of the feature wall with a gorgeous decorative chimney cap at the top. And then with the extension of the roof overhang, it offers a great accent, drawing your eye up to the peak. The primary feature wall faces the north side, allowing a lot of beautiful indirect light to flow into the home. So not only does it look great, but it also lights up the home beautifully and allows us to see the beautiful stars in the evening. Now, one thing you won't see is unsightly downspouts. This home has rain chains around the perimeter of it, and they just blend into the background. As the water channels in the gutters to the rain chains, it collects into this bucket full of beautiful stones, but it doesn't stop there. It continues underground, draining to daylight to a drain field. When entertaining, it's great when everyone can be nearby, but also have plenty of space. Now take a look at this. You may think it's a pergola, but we see it as so much more. Consider these hidden features. This area is separate from the rest of the space, allowing a lot more shaded coverage, perfect for when viewing the TV in this area. But also, right now, it's a beautiful, crisp morning, allowing terrific airflow. And when the bugs come out, we can convert this entire space into a screened area. This allows for so much more flexibility. We can lower down the screens on all 4 sides. And when the rains come in, we've got you covered there too. We have now made our way into the home, but this is somewhat of a pool room area because we can open up these patio doors and allow this entire space to overflow into the outdoor entertaining areas. We still have the stamped concrete in here. We've continued with the same log siding with that double hewn and hand hewn finish. And we've also carried through these impressive craftsman style trusses with a custom built chandelier as a center focal point. Look at the way it just fills the volume of that space. With these beautiful windows on this feature wall, we're allowed to see the beautiful sky out there, as well as the 2 additional trusses just beyond this room. So imagine when those doors are opened up, all of these flow together as one cohesive unit. There's a beautiful fireplace with a hearth raised up at seating height level. It also then effectively raises the firebox so we can have a better view of that. And then we took one of our hand-hewn timbers and we installed it as a mantle. It just looks perfect for this space. This is brilliant. There is a bathroom nearby in the pool house so that your guests don't need to travel through the main house to use it. And when you're ready to rinse off from the pool, there is a men's and women's shower on each side. While the same flooring flows throughout this space, each room has its own distinctive style. You might want to save this idea for your new home. You're gonna love this. We're able to accommodate the flexibility of hosting by opening up all these doors. So take a look at this. Look how easy that slides open. And it's just whisper quiet as well. Now all of a sudden, this entire space just becomes one. I love it. And now we are in the grandest space of them all. This is the dining room, living room, and kitchen area. Take a look at the volume of this space with incredibly tall sidewalls, mortise and tenon timber trusses above us, and 2 great chandeliers. There is a continuation of timber framing above the kitchen area with these purlins spanning this space, allowing for much more purposeful and intentional lighting above the island, as well as the lighting when you're in the kitchen. See, this is very important. You want to make sure that your task lighting is appropriately lighting up what you're working on. We've got a terrific view out back. We can also see anyone coming in down the driveway. Now, how wonderful is this? Everyone loves sitting at the island, and there's plenty of seating here. This island is massive with a beautiful leathered finish on this granite. And speaking of finishes, take a look at the texture on this panelized Sub-Zero refrigerator. We also have put appliance panels on the trash compactor, the dishwasher. Take a look at that extra huge Wolf gas cooktop. I would love this. This would be great for making breakfast in the morning. And even the pot filler, just perfect for a space like this. Now that texture that I had pointed out on the refrigerator, that's carried through with the hood above us. This apron farmhouse sink has a divider in the middle, allowing you to accumulate dishes in one sink bay while working out of the other. I love all the metal accents in this kitchen. We can see it on the cabinets. These are all individually placed. These are handcrafted custom cabinets with inset doors. We've got accenting finishes. So the island and that refrigerator are all a lighter hickory finish. And then of course we see a darker accenting finish right over here with the travertine below. Take a look at the way the light hits the different depths of the travertine, as well as the pitting and texture within the material. Many kitchen designers prefer to have at least 42 inches of space between countertops. We have over 60 inches right here, so nobody is getting in anyone's way. You can easily lay out all the food on this island, or if you're hosting a large event, it's gonna be a very short path to take it outside. And right around the corner, how convenient is this, but we've got a pantry right here. The glass has a little bit of obscurity, which allows you to scatter the light, especially when the light's on in the pantry, and it just looks beautiful. So we've got rustic hickory here with, of course, that dark stain matching the cabinets. And we've continued with the rustic hickory inset cabinets in here in a natural finish. Take a look at these. This is just perfect. You can store your pantry items in here, even a sink for the coffee maker. Right around the corner is the main floor laundry and the master bedroom suite. We'll get to that soon, but take a look at this table. It seats 18, which gives you a sense of how big this room is. There is plenty of room here and overflow seating for the living room area. One of my favorite things is this reclaimed mantle. Take a look at all the character in that mantle. How easy is it to clean this? This is one solid piece. That is brilliant. And right behind me is a very special space. Everyone wonders what is up there. So let's head up to that overlook. You're gonna be surprised. This is incredible. So this overlooks not only the kitchen, dining room, and living room, but also the front foyer entry area. Take a look at this turnbuckle railing system. Being that these were custom created, we're able to also use those on the dining room chairs. So that all ties together. I love the fact that we're overlooking this foyer entry. It allows an abundance of light to overflow into this space. And of course, we're getting that on this side as well. The beautiful chandelier and another incredible feature wall. This home just has so many feature walls. The contrast of the wood ceiling with the drywall pairs so well in this home, and it ties into the beautiful stain on the timbers. Being up this high, now this is rare, but you can get a true appreciation for how massive these mortise and tenon timber trusses are. These are a work of art and absolutely beautiful. It's great to be able to get a close-up look. This home just keeps getting better. Look what was done above the garage space. We are in the guest suite with full accommodations. We've got a full working kitchen, a bathroom, a master bedroom area, as well as a second bedroom. Even our own little living room area with a fireplace, a TV above. This stairwell gives us direct access to the guest parking, allowing them to come and go without interruption. One of my favorite things about this space is looking at the roof lines and the way that these inverted valleys play a role in the architecture. It adds a lot of interest. And take a look at this. There's this very special space up here, so I'll use the ship's ladder and meet you right up there. Rather than this being wasted space, we decided to put a bed up here. It's a perfect place for reading a book or taking a nap. These bypass doors were built on site with Golden Eagle material. That's why they look so rustic and tie into this hand-hewn trim. There is still so much more to see on this tour, so let's continue on. Making our way down this timber stair, I just always appreciate the open treads on these. And now we have an accenting color on the stringers and the treads, tying it all together. It correlates with the accenting color that we have on this flooring material, where the wood is accenting the tile. Recall that pantry door that was the same color as the kitchen cabinets and had the same glass? Well, we've done the same thing with the front door as well. This is absolutely beautiful. When you have an 8-foot tall door like this, it's important that it has a multi-point lock system to make sure that not only is it secure, but also weather tight. Most doors are 1 3/4 inches thick. This one is 2 1/4. It is absolutely massive. The door hardware in this home is M-Tech. The interior doors, we're seeing planking, a 2-panel planking on the rustic pine doors. Before we make our way to the other side of the home, let's get reoriented. We've got a garage right over here, a bathroom. We've got benches on both sides of the foyer. And this is great. Take a look at these custom hooks with the metal iron. It ties into all the other ironwork that we see throughout the home. Now let's head back to this side. We still have the primary laundry to check out, as well as the master suite. Right off the master suite, we've got the laundry room area with a beautiful apron front, fire clay enamel sink. Notice how the washer and dryer are raised up on custom built pedestals made out of the rustic hickory that's being used on the accenting cabinetry. The other cabinets are a painted finish. That's the only painted cabinet that you'll see in the home. And we've got some beautiful natural light overflowing this area, leading us back out into this main hallway. This master suite is something you're gonna wanna see. Let's check it out. If you often have visitors over, it's very convenient to have a hallway just like this. Not only is there a door at the beginning of the hallway, but of course leading into the master bedroom. We also have terrific views of the beautiful rolling hills and gorgeous landscaping. There's just so much wonderful light coming into this space. And take a look at the uplighting within those mortise and tenon timber trusses. That is gorgeous ambient light. In the evening time, the homeowners like to reduce all the lighting in this room, but just leave those lit up as nice ambient light. The master closet is integrated into the bathroom. I just love that. It's nice if someone's still sleeping, you can come into this space, close off the door, and have access to everything. And there's even a private powder room toilet area in this space as well. There is so much storage in this bathroom. When we separate both sinks like this and we have this much space, which is nearly a 10-foot run, it allows us to have a tremendous amount of drawers. Now take a look at these drawers. Although these are 5-piece drawers, the top drawer is a slab. Now that's a consideration we like to take into account when we've got the hardware to consider, because the top drawer is a smaller drawer. So you want to be able to fit that hardware in there well. We have a walk-in tile shower, and you truly do walk into it, and it goes around the corner. The tile work is beautiful, and once again, we've got another accent wall for the tile. We've made our way to the finished lower level. It is fantastic down here. We have our own movie theater. This is absolutely incredible with movie theater seating. These are electronically controlled, so you're able to not only adjust the position of them, but we can also make sure that they're at your own desired comfort level. Now we've got a normal TV here, but wait and see what we can do. All we have to do is turn on this special remote that not only turns on the projector for us, but also retracts down the screen. It is so simple. The screen retracted into a custom-built timber cavity. How cool is that? And then take a look at this baseboard. I don't know if you've noticed it, but it's throughout the whole home. It is a 10-inch high baseboard with the hand-hewn finish on it. Pretty neat. We'll take a few steps down. We've got this custom-built cabinetry behind these doors with a fabric lining. We've got subwoofers right there. There's a full working kitchen down here. Next to the kitchen, we've got custom-built booth seating. This booth seating is terrific when you're hosting large events. We also have a special built cubby area for all the kids' toys. What a great way to use that space under the stair. We've got our mechanicals right behind here. Everything has in-floor heat. How great is that? We've got access for the walkout wall, some incredible landscaping out there. We should head out there right after this. But down the hall, we've got enough room to be able to sleep 7. There is a full bathroom right down here, as well as another one for a Jack and Jill between these 2 bedrooms. There are a total of 4 bedrooms in this space. Now, all these bedrooms have great views. Let's make our way back out, and we'll check out the exterior once again. There are so many beautiful details in this home, but there are also a lot of little things behind the scenes that were really well thought out. Take a look at the exhaust for the washers and dryers. We've got an air conditioner. Even just around the corner back here, the generator is hidden. So all of this is out of sight. We don't want to see it when you approach the home or if you're enjoying the home when you're entertaining. It also keeps these louder elements at bay, and you don't hear them when you're outside in the peaceful nature. Now take a look at all this hardscaping. This is just absolutely incredible, and the landscaping is gorgeous as well, leading us out both directions. We have an incredible amount of height on this back wall and 3 different textures, from a quarry stone to the horizontal log siding and then the vertical board on board. There are 3 service doors on this garage. Now this doesn't count as one of them. It's an additional garage door. I think this is so great because it's not oversized. It's perfect for UTVs and lawnmowers. Many of you are probably wondering about that private entrance for the guests up in the guest house. They come in off of this door, and then the stair is directly here. This door allows us access back into the main garage. There were so many great ideas. Comment below with what your favorites are. And if you'd like more home tours, check out this playlist. I'm Zach Parmiter. Today we're going to go on a behind-the-scenes tour of this brand new luxury home and show you all of the great ideas that really make this home one of a kind. So let's get started. It's always important to consider the lot layout when designing a brand new home. This client happened to be situated between two lakes and they wanted to maximize both views. Another important element to the home design were entertainment spaces. And that's because the clients have a large extended family and they do a lot of hosting. So we made sure to always keep that in mind. As I continue on the tour, I'll point out other must-haves and how we incorporated them into the floor plan. When you have an incredible view, you want to do everything that you can to not obstruct it. That's why this big feature wall full of glass windows is really the highlight of the great room area. These are insulated windows and very energy efficient. We also have special glazing on the windows to make sure that when it is in the summer months, it doesn't heat up this space, and then when it's in the winter months, you actually get solar gain from that. Another thing that was taken into consideration was the deck that's out front here. They actually decided to lower down that deck. That way, when they sat in these chairs, the railing wasn't obstructing their view. Here are a few more great ideas. A typical hearth is much lower, but with these homeowners, we made it higher so that it was easier to sit on. They wanted to be able to warm up by the fire. Another great thing that we did was we actually raised up the firebox even taller, because not only did the hearth bring it up, but then we also add an additional layer of stone right here. That way you get a better view when you're in the great room. The mantle itself is a focal point. There are even a few considerations when it comes to that. Would you like electrical up there? It may be important to you when you're decorating for Christmas, or if you have artwork up there that you'd like to highlight. Additionally, you could consider lighting up in your ceiling above the fireplace unit. The timber trusses set the tone through the entire open concept great room, dining room, and kitchen. When you look at the kitchen right here, you can see that it's framed below these three beautiful trusses. Those trusses were custom designed with the client. It has the hand-hewn finish on there. You can have as many or as few trusses as you'd like. Even when you take a look at the chandelier above the dining room table itself and that chandelier is framed below that truss. The roundness of the interior side of that truss leaves open the opportunity for that chandelier to fill that space. Now you'll notice that with all the glass, all the windows in this home and the open walls, there aren't a lot of places to decorate. Therefore, the decor really came through with the selection of the lighting in the home. With today's lighting, you can actually control everything through your smartphone. That way, with the click of a button, I can turn on all the lights. Look at the lighting on the timber trusses, inside the cabinetry, above and below the cabinets, and even on the range itself. It's absolutely stunning how much it actually changes the entire environment. And you're also able to control just how much you dim everything. And you can even have presets. That way the lights aren't too bright when you're having your morning breakfast, or they're set just right when you have friends over for dinner. Golden Eagle Log and Timber Homes has designed and built over 5,200 homes, and that's a lot of kitchens. When you work with Golden Eagle, they do all of your custom cabinetry design. This home not only has one, but two islands in it. This one's primary function is for serving food. Just imagine a large buffet of food right here. There are enough outlets to be able to accommodate 10 slow cookers at one time. And there are actually enough circuits run in here where none of them will blow a fuse. Everything is well thought out for convenience in mind. We even have it figured out where the homeowner, we suggested to them, hey, how about having a warming drawer? That way, once food is out of the oven, you can keep it warm in here, and that way everything is ready to be served at the same time. It's inevitable that when you have a large gathering, everyone ends up in the kitchen. And that's perfect for this open concept living. It's nice to see all of this floor space between the islands because it never gets too crowded. Now this here is a prep island. What I really like about this is that it actually fosters conversation and it includes everybody into the kitchen. So a person can have their own individual prep area here with a sink, and there's a dishwasher on the side. And then over here on the other end of the island, the same thing. Convenience was in mind with this dishwasher, which allows you to run half of a load. Really neat. Another great thing to keep in mind are these big pot drawers that are in here. This is great for large serving platters and trays that you would lay out for the prep area. In most homes, a microwave is held up higher and it's more of an eyesore. In this home, it not only looks good, but it actually is kind of kept out of sight. This microwave drawer is kept in the base cabinetry of this island. It pulls out and it's a lot easier for you to set items in there, which makes it a lot safer. The most used appliance in the house, of course, would be the refrigerator. This is a 42-inch wide French door unit. But the gourmet chefs out there, they will appreciate this steam oven. Additionally, there's a conventional oven right below it. I really appreciate the seamless integration of the appliances with the cabinetry. Everything is custom and made to fit perfectly. There are even little features, like a pop-out drawer at the toe kick. And contrast that with this prep island. The prep island is granite. The movement in here is just absolutely beautiful. And what was really important to the homeowner was to have more of this furniture edge on here. So Golden Eagle made sure to follow the contour of that with the cabinetry as well. You know, I keep calling this the prep island, but it's so big you might as well just call it the continent, and that can be the island. At its surface, this may appear to be a kitchen designed around entertaining, but really it's about the efficiency and functionality of the space. Right here is an induction cooktop. There are a lot of terrific benefits with these cooktops, and that's why all of the gourmet chefs are using this in their brand new kitchens. First of all, it's easy to keep clean, but most importantly, when you're cooking the food, it cooks it more evenly, consistently. It was also important to the homeowners that when the grandchildren are here, that they don't get burnt with the cooktop. And that's a terrific advantage of induction, is that you don't have hot heating elements exposed to little fingers. Now, efficiency in this kitchen, it was really well thought of. We have deep drawer bases for all of your large pots and pans. Also, when you're cooking the meal or preparing it here on the side, there's terrific access to all the spices. That way you can quickly grab it and use it and put it right back. We already touched on lighting a little bit earlier, but I just wanted to point out how terrific this task lighting is. That's always a key when cooking in the kitchen. Also, taking a look at how we ventilate this space. This is a high efficiency range hood. It vents up and directly out through the roof system. Continuing on, there is a terrific prep sink here with a garbage disposal in there. That's great for when you're peeling your veggies or cutting up all your fresh fruit. Additionally, how nice to clean out the sink this way. It's great to have an extra hose like this. I know usually you would have some sort of a spray nozzle over here on the side, but this keeps it simple and easy to clean. Here's that second dishwasher right here. And remember when I pointed out the spice rack over there? Well, look what we have here. It's not a spice rack. We've made our way to the beverage bar. This is terrific in the morning for your morning coffee. And then also when you have a big day over at the lake, you can come on in through the door and help yourself to a drink. We even have a nice little prep sink right here. And we didn't forget to make sure that there's still some terrific lighting. There's a lot about this home that really just draws your eye up. When you're in the kitchen, you're looking at the cabinetry and the way the wall cabinets tier up, and then it takes your eye to those timber trusses, and inevitably it's the ceiling finish. That whitewash looks absolutely beautiful. It's the color that the clients chose when they were at Golden Eagle. And then we also pointed out to them that they can actually run the planking vertically. That way it draws your eye up to the ridge beam at the center of the ceiling. All of the wood products can be stained whichever color you prefer. This client chose more of a dark walnut color on not only their wall finishes, but all of the beams inside this great room area. We also have dark walnut chosen on this beautiful railing system. They did a double top rail and raised that top rail height to be about 42 inches tall. It's a bit more rugged, which contrasts really well with a few of the soft fabrics in this dining room area. These chairs have been upholstered with perennial fabrics, which resist even the toughest stains such as red wines. We've also done the same over here on the island chairs as well. As you walk into the master bedroom, it's the soft tones and textures that give you a sense of calm and relaxation. While the rest of the home has a rugged hand-hewn finish on most of the timbers and beams, in the master bedroom, the clients chose to do a smooth finish and paint the timbers and the trusses white. Early on in the design phase, the clients expressed to us how important it would be to have a deep soaking tub so that they could enjoy the views of the lake. What we did here is we actually designed the plan so that it bumps out beyond the master bedroom and it encompasses large windows surrounding it, all the way from the floor to the ceiling finish. This spa tub has a cube design. What's special about it is the way that you sit up in it. It's actually designed to be a lot like a hot tub and have a very similar effect. To help capture more of a panoramic view, we angled out the windows here. The angle of the window wall actually creates not only a beautiful interior design element, but it looks great on the exterior of the home as well. This room utilizes decorative wall finishes, and what's been done here is actually an ombre effect, where it transitions up to the use of mica and crystal in the wall. We're looking to really achieve the sensation that you're in a spa, and this really represents the sense of water being all around you. All of the trusses in this home are authentic. Golden Eagle used the traditional mortise and tenon joinery to build those, and your eye is really drawn up to that space. It's also backlit by this beautiful crystal chandelier. That chandelier ties in really well with what was done on these wall finishes here. The Golden Eagle design team had a great vision for how this was all going to come together. It first started with offsetting that timber truss by about 2 feet, and that allowed our cabinet designers to incorporate a built-in nightstand and bookshelf system to really bring this together as one unified feature wall. The lighting that we did in the kitchen had a great impact. We wanted to apply those same techniques and principles to the master bedroom as well. So we backlit all of these shelves as well as the timber trusses. I think you guys are really gonna like this. As we head into the master bathroom, you're greeted with this beautiful view of the lake. And then we have nearly 22 feet of glass here. Draws your eye all the way up to the ceiling where we have even more timber trusses. The collection of colors continues that spa-like atmosphere into this bathroom, just as it was in the bedroom. The his and her vanities were designed specifically not to obstruct the view. The countertops are real marble, and when you look above the mirror, you'll see that the mica that was used over by the soaking tub has also been used in here. Continuing the warmth and comfort of this space is having in-floor heat. Feels really great, also wonderful to have over in the shower area here. As we leave the master bath, we do have a his and a her closet, both with cabinet organizer systems. Also, this door, notice that it's white just like all the trim, and it's smooth. Most of the doors in the home do have knots in them. That was intentionally requested by the client, but in this case, they wanted a smooth door with a 2-panel arch top. We have the whitewash ceiling finish throughout the whole entire first floor, but it looks so different depending on the colors that are chosen on the wood in each room. There was a light color on that wood, a darker color in here. I'm looking forward to showing you what's in this room. This room is unbelievable. It's just beautiful how they incorporated the reclaimed barn board in this room to make this an incredible feature wall. Just like nearly every other room in this house, it's all about capturing the view. We have 3 large windows in front of us and then 2 custom-shaped windows up in the gable. That allows for a vaulted ceiling throughout this room and a beautiful chandelier right in the middle. It's this blending of both modern and rustic design elements that really come together, and you can just see as it transitions throughout the whole home. The homeowners were essentially looking for a second master suite on the first floor, and that's due to accessibility reasons for their elderly parents. You see, on their previous home, they had to give up their bedroom space. On this home, they wanted the flexibility of this being a great space for those with limited access, or else a great flex space for when the grandkids come over. So this is perfect. This would typically be an enormous closet, but they've actually transitioned it to be a nursery and extra sleeping accommodations for the grandkids. It's really great because then that gives the parents peace of mind of knowing that their kids are right here, and they also have privacy with these barn doors. The barn door hardware is hand forged. It gives it that rugged appearance and really balances with the rest of the theme of the room. These beautiful barn doors, they're 8 feet tall, a K-style barn door on both sides, and the color of them blends so well with the baseboard and the trim around the whole room. With all of your interior doors, you can choose your wood species, choose your color, and even decide whether you have knots or not. Golden Eagle suggested that when this door got finished, this side of the door would match the color palette of the great room area, whereas this side of the door matched the color palette of the bedroom in here. Let's take a look at the finish options and ideas that were done in the bathroom area. First thing you notice when you walk in here are the large timbers that span the ceiling. Not only are the timbers all smooth, but also the trims around all the doors. Whitewash was done on the wall finishes in here. This is the same whitewash that you saw on the ceilings. And then there's drywall on a few of these accent walls. The homeowners had the grandchildren on their mind when designing this bathroom area. They wanted to make sure to have a bathtub because the grandkids would be playing at the lake all day or coming in from the garage and mudroom and need a central location to clean off. So this is perfect. Now we have 3 more bedrooms to show you, 2 more bathrooms. They all have completely different and unique styles. So let's go check that out. We're now in the lower level, and this is just like the room that we were in upstairs, but it's even a little bit bigger. That allows for this bunk area. This is perfect if you're hosting a family or if you have a lot of guests over for the weekend. We have a full bed here, a queen, and even a twin. But what really sets this room apart is this decorative wall finish. This isn't wallpaper, this is a decorative art finish over drywall. It's applied in multiple layers to achieve this depth and texture. And these nail heads even add more dimension to the wall. The sidewalls are done in the same process and they're using the same colors. That way it transitions nicely to the feature wall. As we exit this room, you'll see there are really neat double barn doors, 8 feet tall. That's the benefit of having 10-foot tall ceilings here in the lower level. It's nice how flexible this entire space is. Even if you have a large family staying here, grandkids could stay in this area. If they go to bed early and they need a little bit more quiet time, you can actually close off these barn doors. It also helps maintain privacy for the parents. I appreciate the continuation of the decorative wall finish over here. It offers good contrast to the wood that's on the rest of these walls. This room is really about the view. It is spectacular that we have such a large window here in the finished lower level. You're not really limited by size of windows when you do have an exposed walkout wall like they have in this home. This whole room has been trimmed out with rugged hand-hewn timbers. There's a vertical 1x8 tongue and groove running from floor to ceiling over here, and then it's running horizontally along this wall. They even decided to do a 4-inch pattern on the ceiling as well. Right outside the bedroom suite is a full bathroom with his and her sinks. It's really neat to see these finishes of the faucets. It matches perfectly with the mirror frame as well as the lighting above. Even taking a look at this cabinetry down here, this is a rustic alder. It has beautiful knots in here. The door hardware ties in perfectly with those faucets once again. What's even neat is even the doors throughout the whole room. This is the same knotty alder that you see on the cabinetry. There's a lot of great design flexibility to this space. There's a private powder room area. There's also privacy for the shower area with a pocket door. This is a perfect location because we're right outside the rec room. And in this next bedroom, it has a lot of very unique finishes. We continue with more of the decorative wall finish. It has metallics in here and more of a vertical application. I think it's very fitting because it actually looks a lot like bark. That's perfect for this Golden Eagle log and timber home. Both perimeter walls have Golden Eagle's 10-inch double hewn on there. It's 10 inches tall in stack height, and this hand-hewn surface adds a lot of depth and dimension. The combination of metal and wood in this room goes so well together, and it's very fitting with the industrial style theme throughout the whole lower level. It doesn't even really feel like you're in the lower level. Not only do we have 10-foot ceilings down here, but we also have large windows and a terrific view of the private lake. This next room is perfect for those of you who like a rustic bedroom. We have wood on all 4 walls and on the ceiling finish. And of course, it is that 10-inch double hewn that is the signature of this feature wall. The closet has 8-foot tall double doors. It is encased with large timber trim with a hand-hewn finish on it, and the top piece is extra large to really make a statement. You'll notice that we did this on the entire home above all the doors and windows. The full bathroom is conveniently located between both bedrooms. And once again, you'll see the ombre effect that we used, similar to what was used upstairs. This ombre effect ended up turning out perfectly with the tile that they chose in this room. It was important to the homeowners that we still maximize views even though we're technically in the lower level. And truthfully, it doesn't even feel like we are below the main level of the home because we have 10-foot ceilings here. So these big walls of windows actually go from floor to ceiling on the big lake side, and then the private lake, we still have at least 6 feet of glass over here. It's absolutely incredible, all of the natural light that comes into this space. The homeowners came to us and mentioned that it'd be great if we could find an opportunity for them to display their vintage motorcycle gas tanks. We have an industrial theme down here in the lower level, so we thought it'd be perfect to incorporate it into their bar layout. The cabinetry designers at Golden Eagle took good note of how many gas tanks would be on display. That way we had an appropriate balance throughout this entire space. As you saw in previous episodes, lighting is not only important to how a home feels, but also how it looks. That's why we incorporated this terrific lighting display on all these vintage gas tanks. There's additional lighting underneath this cabinetry, and the liquor shelves are even lit up. I really like this effect because it really gives you a sense that this is a professional bar, which truly it is. The homeowners came to us and they said they wanted a commercial grade back bar. So what we did was we incorporated this entire back bar into the cabinetry layout. You can store the ice in here. The ice comes directly from the ice maker. This is great for serving all of your guests, and it's not only an efficient space, but it's a lot of fun too. A lot of our homeowners request that we incorporate solid wood tops throughout the home, but we took it one step further. We heard how much they enjoy talking about the lakes, so we suggested that we actually put in the topographical layers of the lake into the bar top. That way you can see the lake depths. The home is actually sitting between this private lake and the large lake right here. This is really fun, a terrific conversation piece, and the homeowners absolutely loved it. This is a very unique slab because it has a live edge to it. This live edge follows the contour of the tree. We also use epoxy in here. This epoxy actually squared off the edge, adding more of a highlight to this feature. The homeowner requested to have a roof system over their bar area. And we've done that quite a bit because not only does it help separate the space, but it also feels comfortable and cozy. But you don't want just a regular one, something that's straight across. We thought, why not do something special where it actually steps up and lowers down, and we have this beautiful timber work the whole span of it. The homeowner really liked these lights. Not only are they vintage and repurposed, but they also had some sentimental value. But they weren't matching the rest of the light fixtures in the home, so these got custom painted to match perfectly. And the wall sconces have the industrial look as well. I can even dim it with my smartphone. I can dim the entire area of the home. How nice is that? It's perfect for any time of the day. We've also incorporated some of Golden Eagle's 10-inch double hewn, 10-inch stack height, very unique finish on the surface here with a variable edging along each side. And this is also another signature of Golden Eagle. It's that double top rail here, a bit more of a craftsman style. We thought that would be perfect to incorporate into more of this industrial theme of the finished lower level. The beams along the ceiling are very special. We have the large 10-inch by 10-inch beams spanning the entire width of the area, and then 8-inch by 8-inch beams butting into that. That adds a very dramatic effect because you see more of the different depths of the log. We pulled one of those large timbers and used it as the mantelpiece above the beautiful gas-burning fireplace unit. With the same considerations of what we did on the main floor, we raised the hearth. That way it'd be easy to sit on. This is really nice for warming up against the fire or enjoying the incredible view. Stepping into the great room, I am just amazed by all the natural light and the incredible views that I see on both sides of me. The centerpiece of this room is the leather rug. If you look closely, the rug is made out of the leather patches from the back of jeans. It is not only durable, but it is also very interesting and another great conversation piece. The entire lower level is efficiently heated with radiant in-floor heat. That way, even on the coldest of winter days, your toes stay toasty warm. Now take a look at this. This is very special. Most people would think that this is a weathered barnwood, but in fact, it's actually a very durable tile. That's to withstand the traffic of this area. Not only will the grandkids be bringing in a little bit of sand from the beach, but we also have the bar area right here and direct access to the bathroom. Something I really appreciate is that when you are in this bar area, you still get that full view. This big 8-foot tall door is a full pane of insulated glass. We also have a triple deadbolt system on here. It's as easy as lifting up this lever. Really neat. Speaking of doors, come and take a look at this interior door. It is extra thick. It really goes well with the mass of the timbers in these rooms. It's made out of alder wood species. The client came to our design center and chose not only the door style that they want, which is a 2-panel arch top, they picked that wood species, the stain color, and they also told us that they wanted knots in here. The knots match perfectly with the cabinetry in the bar area. I'm coming from the opposite side of the bar and rec room area, and I want to share with you a terrific idea. The homeowners came to us and they had said, we need 6 garage stalls. We need to be able to store the boat, ATVs, side-by-sides, the motorcycles. So they were actually considering building a whole separate outbuilding. But we're sitting on a lake lot. Usually lake lots do have their limitations of how big your footprint can be. What we had suggested to them is something that we typically would do on other lake lots or in the mountains. And that is to utilize spancrete to build a whole separate garage area underneath the existing garage. That allowed us to not only have 3 stalls up there, but 3 stalls down here. Let's head inside and take a look. The combination of 10-foot ceilings and in-floor heat, as well as the nice epoxy flooring, makes it feel like it's really an extension of the lower level living space. This is a terrific area for storing all of these extra toys. What's cool about this space is it doesn't have to be a garage. It could be your home theater or gym. There's a lot of flexibility here. You can make it whatever you want. Now let's head upstairs and take a look at that garage. Coming into the garage, the first thing I really notice and appreciate is the privacy glass on this door. I also see that they're on the garage doors too. I notice that we're at the same header heights on all these doors. So here's an 8-foot tall door, and both of these are also 8 feet. You probably know that most garage doors, they're at 7 feet. So these are extra tall. Another thing also to note is usually the biggest garage door that you'll see is a 16-foot wide door. This here is 18. This is extra wide as well. It's a 10-foot wide unit. These doors are super insulated, and that's because this is a heated space. Not only are the doors insulated, but we have that radiant in-floor heat in here, and the walls and roof system, they're insulated as well. And this garage has the same epoxy finish as the lower garage. There's one more thing I want to show you as well. With this home being built in a cold climate, the exterior water spigots are turned off throughout the winter time. But with this being a heated garage, we're able to not only have a cold, but also a hot water source. This is perfect for flexibility all year around, whether you're cleaning off your truck or simply rinsing out the garage. Golden Eagle had suggested, why have steps when you don't have to? What's really nice about this home is that there's a 0 barrier entry heading into the home from the garage. Of course, it's very convenient for accessibility or for having elderly parents come over, but it's also really nice even if you're just bringing in groceries. There are a few essential considerations to every mudroom. First of all, it's important to have a laundry room nearby. In this case, they'll be bringing in swimsuits and beach towels right from the beach, so that's very conveniently located. It's also really nice to have drop zone lockers on both sides here. Each drop zone has shoe storage below with hangers above for hanging coats. It's also great that there's a bathroom conveniently located right off of the entry. And then if you're bringing in groceries, the kitchen is only a few steps away. Remember all that attention to detail that we covered on the kitchen? Well, Golden Eagle did the same even in the mudroom and the laundry room. The cabinetry actually matches this entire space as well. The whitewash ceiling finish is nicely accented by those dark hand-hewn timber beams. It really is a great transition into this space where the same effect was done. Now let's take a walk outside. There's a lot to show you out there. The homeowners really want to be able to extend their kitchen space to the outdoor living. And this is perfect because you can easily grab food from the buffet line and bring it out here to the outdoor dining. Right now we're under a large covered porch area, but we also have the best of both worlds because there's a large grilling deck over there. Did you notice that coming from the house onto the deck, there was actually no step? Very great for accessibility. One of the most important things we always had to keep in mind was maximizing this lake view. We have this large wall of glass, the great room is on the other side here, and that's why we lowered this deck. This deck extends the full width of the house, and we have a magnificent timber truss right up at the peak of the gable. Even the spindles and the railing system was done in a way where it wouldn't obstruct the view. And that's because we also have a full wall of windows right here. This is absolutely terrific. Really gets you the broad panorama of the lake. Everything on the exterior of the home is designed for maximum visual impact. A few key elements on the exterior of the home are the thick shakes, the 10-inch double-hewn half-log siding, precision-cut dovetail corners, and even small details like the craftsmanship of the newel posts stand out to bring this whole home together for an impressive appearance. Something I really appreciate about this natural quarry stone is not only the depths of colors, but also there are quite a few large stones on here. And that really ties in well with the large timber trim around all of the windows. Here's something I really appreciate about this home, is when your guests arrive, you're automatically underneath a covered porch area. That's terrific if it's raining out or if there's snow. It also helps reduce maintenance on the home because you don't have to shovel all of this area. Speaking of reducing maintenance, these railings and spindles are maintenance free. So is the soffit and the fascia, and also the aluminum cladding on the windows. And there are even little details that were taken into consideration. Take a look at this light over here. This light fixture actually has an LED light in there, and it's really easy to keep the glass clean. It's impressive to drive up to the home and to see the double gable system. Each gable is supported by a large tapered stone base, big 12 by 12 timbers, and a distinctive custom timber truss. It's this kind of attention to detail that really makes it a Golden Eagle log and timber home. This is just one of over 5,200 great homes that Golden Eagle has built throughout the United States and Canada. It's our one-stop shopping experience that makes it easy for you to design your own custom luxury home. If you're inspired to get started and you want all of the details done just right, then give either me or one of our sales advisors a call. Today, we are trading the city skyline for the serene views of up north. This is the retreat you've been dreaming of. Join us, as countless Golden Eagle clients already have, in looking forward to this unique experience. Welcome to the Sportsman's Retreat. A log home is perfect for this property. The prow feature wall welcomes us as we come up the driveway. This home was positioned with an orientation to be able to capture these sunrises as well as sunsets and utilize a full access walkout wall in this lower level. The foundation is wrapped in stone, which is carried through to the concrete piers that are supporting the posts for the deck. Those are exposed root bottom posts, just another material selection very unique to Golden Eagle. This property is on 219 acres of beautiful hills. Many of these trees have been planted by the homeowners, which is why it's so great to be able to utilize this grand feature wall. Everything about this home is oversized. Not only do we have extra tall walls, but take a look at this hand-peeled trim. These are 12-inch logs. I love the utilization of wall sconces on this feature wall, and we can see that we now transition to a half-log wall with half-log siding, and we see that on the other feature wall just over here. All these big logs and timbers, like the big tie beam above me, as well as this structural post, just build the mystique of this incredible cabin. There are so many new ideas that you're gonna love in this home. Take a look at the powder room. What a unique way to incorporate a vessel sink. We've got these metal chains holding up this live edge wood slab. That is just awesome. And then there is this vessel faucet with a waterfall effect. I just absolutely love that. As you go around this home, you're gonna see this wall finish. Let's take a look at it. A lot of people love to use shiplap in their homes. We'll take a look at this. We've got a rustic version of it where we've got nickel gap spacing, and then look at all these unique finishes that are applied. So these effects, these traits, allow for the stain to hold more pigment, creating a lot more contrast in these darker spots. I just love that throughout this home. You're gonna see a lot of really rustic and unique features. Take a look at this large cutout on the entry foyer area. This catches everyone's eye when they come into the home, and then of course, their eye follows up to those beautiful custom Pella gable windows. Here's what I love about windows like that. It allows you to capture the beautiful sky from that side of the home. It also helps balance the natural light that flows throughout this space. Now take a look at this kitchen. These are incredible countertops. These are actually concrete, and they've got a beautiful effect applied to them. They are extra thick and massive. The edges of these countertops are pretty cool. Take a look at the chipped rock edge. There's so much variability. It's a beautiful texture, and it's still smooth to the touch. The door hardware as well as the faucets are done in an oil rub bronze. These happen to be Delta faucets right here. And take a look at the copper sink. So this is a farmhouse sink with a bowed apron front. How great is that? Just absolutely love it. We even have rivets on the front edge of this sink. There is even copper on the range hood above us. With a vaulted ceiling like this, it provides a great opportunity to tier up the cabinets, allowing for great storage space. I love the utilization of this timber light fixture above with these hanging Edison bulbs. It just builds on that charm. While we're looking at the floor plan, there is a 2-stall garage as well as a 3-seasons room on the other side of the home. While many probably look at all these Pella windows as their favorite feature in this space, for me, I just love the fireplace. This is a 45-inch double door sealed door unit, and this can put out some heat. So right now we don't have the fan rolling, but if we wanted to, we could easily heat this entire space. And there is even a vent so we could drop air down into the finished lower level, heating the space down there as well. There is a cool story behind this stone. The hearthstone was pulled from a barn on the property. That barn was built in 1910. It is awesome to see it being repurposed in this incredible family cabin getaway. We also have stone that was selected from Golden Eagle's Design Center showroom, as well as all these other finishes in the home. Now take a look at the primary suite. So this master suite is incredible, and here is what I love. Take a look at the view. To have 3 extra large windows in this space overlooking these 219 acres of private land really brings in the serene view that we have outside. Just beyond these patio doors is where we started the tour. How nice is it to be able to have access to the deck right from the master suite? That is a maintenance-free decking just outside there with our maintenance-free spindles. Take a look at the trim around this door. This is that extra large trim that I pointed out earlier. The trim is custom cut for the light switches. Even this over here, we've got an individual light switch for each of the sconces on each side of the bed. Just some great foresight and light planning. We have cathedral vaulted ceilings in this master suite, a beautiful barn door. Take a look at this door. This is awesome. Something that we offer at Golden Eagle, as well as all these other reclaimed finishes. The clients even picked out that barn door hardware while visiting us. Now take a look at these double vessel sinks. Both of these have a stone finish on each side, and then more of heirloom quality cabinets. Given the size of the vessel sinks, we increased the depth of the vanity cabinet to 24 inches, kept the center stack of drawers at 21, and then it created a nice contour for the countertop with also the angled fillers. So this is just an absolute beautiful bathroom, a private powder room. Once again, continuing with that same barn door that we saw over there, I'm pointing these out now because we do have a different style of rustic doors throughout the rest of the house. A beautiful corner tub, 2 great large windows, another transom in this space, and take a look at this shower. Can you believe this? This is absolutely incredible. It's always a great idea to consider having a hand wand, and that is all adjustable. This is just a beautiful space, but let's continue on. There is still so much more to show you. Consider the combination of colors in this home. There are darker doors, and this reclaimed planking is darker as well, whereas the logs, the floors, and the ceilings are all a much lighter stain. That reflects a lot more of the light and brings great balance to the space. Speaking of floors, I just love the decision to use rustic hickory planking. It's such a hardwood species. These floors will be looking great for a lifetime, and they bring a lot of terrific character to the home. Something that's important to keep in mind is that with each tread on a stair, there can't be more than 3/8 of an inch of variability between each tread, which is why it's perfect that Golden Eagle created this easy log stair system. We have 2 full log stringers underneath these treads, and then we're able to utilize these brackets to get perfect placement. Another great feature is that the metal elements of the brackets tie in perfectly with other metalwork that we see throughout the home. I also love that these open up the area, allowing for light to pass through into the stairwell. There's a lot of character in the tile floor that we see throughout this basement. And take a look at the irregular nature of this post. The flare bottom post is perfect for a home like this. Just beyond me here is a bedroom and a full bath. You got to see what was done in here. There is a beautiful copper sink. Also, that shower is extra large with beautiful tile work done in this space. The bedroom is featuring a patio door with access to the outdoors. Just on the other side of the room beyond this barn door is a bunk room, perfect for opening day. It sleeps up to 6. We've got a great gathering space with this living room down here, and take a look at that fireplace. It is the perfect ode to the traditional craftsmanship of these log homes. And this guy puts out some heat. Although of course it's not needed because this home has all the latest and greatest mechanicals. Thanks for joining me on today's tour, and be sure to check out this playlist for more new home ideas. We have an incredible tour today. This home at first glance is a rustic family cabin, but every square foot of it is luxurious. There are so many great ideas, you're gonna wanna take notes. Let's get started. Like so many of our other clients, hosting was a priority for our homeowners, which is why they wanted to incorporate an open concept living area where the kitchen overflows into the great room. And that's why it's perfect to have an island with all this seating on 3 sides of it. This is perfect for congregating. It offers a lot of great flexibility in space, whether you're in that great room, the dining room, or the island itself. Now let's stay on the island for a second. This island is a contrast to the perimeter cabinets. It's important that when we contrast different colors that we're still coordinating it with other finishes throughout the home. We see that same finish applied to the railings as well as the front door. Revisiting the idea of hosting, it's a great consideration to have your kitchen sink in the island facing your guests. And of course, we've got the dishwasher next to it, a pull-out wastebasket next to that sink. We've got our 30-inch range, an awesome hood ventilating out the space. All these wall cabinets were raised up, taking great advantage of the volume of this open concept area. There are a few great ideas to talk about with just this kitchen sink alone. First of all, there are 2 sink basins, and then there's a low divider, which is perfect for when you still have large pans. Also, there is an incinerator, so we've got a button here. That's great for the garbage disposal, and then that button matches all the finishes that we have on these faucets here. So what this button's effectively doing is, it's replacing what would oftentimes be a switch on the wall. Many of you are probably wondering what this is. This is a beverage faucet, and it goes through extra filtration to get you that perfect glass of water. There is terrific light planning throughout this home. Let's just look at the kitchen alone. We've got above cabinet lighting on these wall cabinets, under cabinet lighting, perfect for when you're cutting up your veggies and preparing food. Look at the great shadows that it puts on the backsplash here. Also, we've got 4 pendant lights right above the island, all perfectly placed. Now let's continue on to this side of the kitchen. Of course, we continue with more of that uplighting. It highlights the bandboard that we see spanning this room. It frames out the entire perimeter of this space. This is a perfect spot for preparing drinks because we also have the refrigerator here with the freezer and access to ice. And right over here is a great drop zone. Now this is perfect because we've got access from the garage over here. You drop off all your bags, load up the refrigerator, and this is a pantry space itself. We've highlighted this in other videos. From a cabinet designer's perspective, it's great to be able to move that microwave from being in your line of sight to putting it in the base cabinets. And if you've got that heavy casserole dish, you're not lifting it overhead. Instead, you can easily move it from the countertop to that microwave drawer. Now, there are so many great ideas beyond this space, but let's not get too far away from this great room area. The prow wall is what so many of our homeowners love about our floor plan designs. We can do any sort of feature wall that you'd like. It's very common to see this prow wall when you've got an incredible view like this. It allows nearly 180-degree views, and it is a dramatic focal point when you enter the home. We've applied our signature hand-hewn finish on this massive window trim. This is 12 inches wide, 4 inches thick. It certainly makes a statement. There are 6 casement windows on this wall, so all of those will crank open, allowing great airflow in this space, and when they're closed, they offer you great sight lines with terrific visibility, not obstructing any of your view. The gas-burning fireplace is putting off a beautiful flame, and the metal trim around it ties in with all the metal accents that we see throughout this home. Now, a stone selection is so important to your home's overall aesthetic. This is beautiful quarry stone. Look at the depth of these colors. Every stone is unique, being that it was pulled right from the land. A great design consideration is how both of these mantles are continuing through as the wall finish transitions. This offers a great contrast to these mantles, and it also continues on the perimeter of this great room area. Notice, by the way, that there was no hearth down there. So that is perfect for an area like this where you don't want a hearth obstructing your walking pattern. Next, we'll make our way to the primary suite, which is a much more soft place. Whereas we had wood on the ceilings, the floors, and the walls in the great room area, we now have drywall on all 4 walls, the ceiling, and carpet. It feels spacious with the 9-foot ceilings, but what helps the most is all the natural light coming in from this balcony area. How great is this to have your private balcony overlooking the lake? This is just perfect. Also great for bringing in a lot of terrific airflow on a crisp fall day like today. Now take a look at this bed frame. This is perfect for a home like this. We've got timber trim around all these doors and windows. And of course, having these big timbers encasing the bed is just perfect. It also ties into the colors that we have throughout this home. Now right behind me, we've got double barn doors heading into the primary bathroom. This is an awesome bathroom. Take a look at this. How perfect is it to have wall cabinets here? They're 9 inches deep, which is perfect for bathroom items which don't require a lot of deep storage. What first catches my attention is the perfect symmetry of this space with wall sconces on each end. There's even an outlet cut into the mirror. What I'm about to show you is a great design idea. Obscure glass on the shower door. Not only is it beautiful, but it's also very practical because that door always looks great. This tile shower is gorgeous. It's a nice walk-in tile shower with plenty of niches in there for all your shampoos and soaps. And then beyond me is a private powder room. If you ever have an opportunity to have this in your floor plan, this is a great consideration. Also allows for some good natural light and airflow into this space. Now let's head back out to the great room area. There is still so much more to see on this tour. Let's head to the other side of the home where we have the laundry, the guest bathroom, as well as a Four Seasons room. We don't get to see a Four Seasons room all too often. This is a very special space. The homeowners say they love hanging out in here. With the kitchen right around the corner, this is a great secondary location for a dining room. But most of the time the homeowners are using this as a game room and a great place to hang out and have some drinks at the end of the day, which is why it's perfect to have a bar sink right over here. This is a great idea you may want to consider for your next home. There is a special passageway connecting the Four Seasons room to the kitchen. This is perfect when a fresh pizza comes out of the oven or when you're ready for your next cocktail. The windows on the great room feature wall were casement windows, but we wanted to make sure to use double hung windows in this space. That way they slide up and they don't obstruct the walking path on the deck area. It also allows for us to put furniture up close to these windows. Screen porches are very popular, and now with a Four Seasons room, we're taking it up a notch. It allows us to get that fourth season of winter time. So with these Pella windows, they are super insulated and energy efficient. That ensures that this space will be just as warm as the rest of the home. And then throughout the rest of the year, there's the flexibility for the homeowners to open these windows up and allow great airflow just like you'd have on a screen porch. This wall finish is special. It's one of a kind. You're not going to find it anywhere else. So this planking is a reclaimed material. We can already see the distressing in it. We've got old nail marks. This distressing is accented with a special glazing that was applied on site. That glazing ties in perfectly with the dark color that we see on the trim throughout this home. Now, speaking of glazing, I overlooked the glazing on these kitchen cabinets. Come take a look at this. These rustic alder cabinets have two finishes applied to them. It's base stain color as well as a glaze applied over the top, which is accented with the worn corners that we see here. Continuing on with cabinets, let's visit the laundry room, where we've got plenty of wall storage, as well as a great utility sink. The utility sink is an 18 gauge stainless steel sink. It is 9 inches deep, 27 inches wide. There's a lot of great flexibility in having a sink like that. We like to place the laundry rooms at the perimeter of the home where we can efficiently vent the dryer to the exterior. And right over here is a guest bathroom. This is a full bath. We've got a tub in there with a tile surround. There's even a powder room. A powder room is always great to consider when you have multiple people using this space. Now remember, this home is centered around hosting family. I think you're gonna like what we see next. Let's head upstairs. Wow, now take a look at this. This is great for all of the grandchildren to be able to come up here. It's a large space for them to be able to play. Look at all the flexibility that a space like this brings. So we are above the garage right now. This property is very special. We're able to see the stars at night. It is just a beautiful sky, which is why the homeowners wanted to make sure that there were 4 skylights in here so that the grandkids don't miss those views. Not only is smart home technology convenient, but it is also efficient. This room is on its own separate zone. That way the homeowners don't need to heat this space in the wintertime if the grandkids aren't coming to stay. But while the grandkids are here, they're gonna have access to their own bathroom. There is a beautiful walk-in shower with unique tile work. These tile finishes are different than what we've seen throughout the rest of the home. Let's make our way back down to the main level. There is still so much more to see on this tour. As you enter the home, you're naturally drawn to that beautiful view with the great prowl wall and these high vaulted ceilings. But this wall itself is a statement piece. We've utilized side lights on that door, making this extra special. And speaking of special, Pella's custom windows in this upper gable allow for us to bring in the view and see eagles flying out in the sky. Now, there's a lot more to see downstairs. Let's make our way down there. As we do, you'll see our hand-hewn newel posts, some eased edge on the railing, as well as these metal powder-coated spindles. There's a lot more to see. Follow me on down. This lower level feels just like a continuation of the upstairs, yet a bit more of a modern feel with drywall on all 4 walls as well as the ceiling. That drywall is offering a great contrast to these timbers applied to that ceiling. The drywall has a heavy knockdown finish, and the timbers are a great contrast to this entire space. We've got a continuation of many of the same elements that we saw upstairs. Look at this old reclaimed timber that we've got over here below the TV. Now that is a TV, great for everyone who's lounging around. Take a look at this. This reminds me of a few of the couches that we've seen in some of our previous tours. Everyone loves these when they're hosting because nearly everyone has a spot. We've got another great fireplace in here. Ooh, this is our sealed door unit. This thing is a tank. It can put out a lot of heat, but most importantly, it burns a beautiful flame. It efficiently burns wood, which means that you don't need to clean out the ashes nearly as often on a unit like this. Now, if you want to heat the space, we could turn on the fan and you can have variable speeds for that. but many just like the ambiance of having a wood-burning fireplace. In contrast with the fireplace that's upstairs, we now have a hearth, great for storing firewood, also for additional seating in the space. And then there's also a soldier course with a keystone above, which is perfect for an arch top like what we have on this fireplace unit itself. Many of our clients recognize just how captivating our finished lower levels are. Oftentimes they're including large windows just like what we see here. They're bringing in the incredible view with the tall ceilings, the timber work, and the attention to all these materials. It feels just as nice as the upstairs does. Now let's continue on. We've got a kitchenette bar right behind me with a bar fridge, Blanco's Rondo sink. This is quirky, it's fun, perfect for a space like this. Also some more cabinetry with the glass doors as we saw upstairs. Now heading on over here, plenty of space for your guests to stay, a nice queen size bed. Every single room in this home has a view, and that was important to the homeowners. So we have a huge window facing that lake right over there. Also, you'll notice that all these finishes continue with what we had seen upstairs. This is a 3-panel door with a unique shaker sticking. Notice these colors, they blend perfectly with the trim colors that we have around the house. Now let's head to the other side of the lower level where there is an additional bedroom. We even have a mudroom entry area where it gets us great lake access, and of course it's important to have the bathroom nearby. So there's the bedroom right there. We've got 2 queen size beds in there. Just as I had said, that bedroom also has the view. What captivates me about this home is that every single room is done at a designer level. The cabinets, countertops, mirrors, the finishes, everything is different, yet it is all cohesive, bringing everything together. Right over here, we've got access to the lake, which is why it's perfect to have tile in this drop zone area and the bathroom nearby. Now let's make our way outside. The landscaping out here is impressive. This is perfect for hosting. That boulder wall makes a statement. I noticed that as we drove in today. Look at all the tables we can have out here. This is a smart home with lights that you can control throughout your home. That way you can set the mood when you're out here in the evening time, or make sure the lights are on when you pull up to the house in the evening. This stamped concrete is contrasted with the flagstone pathway that we have here. That same flagstone is used heading down to the beach. Now let's make our way around. We can see the beautiful gable finish with the cedar sawn shingles. The dovetail corners on this home are a statement piece. But before we get to those finishes, let's just take a look at the deck. All this great entertaining with that balcony on the master bedroom side, as well as the deck space that we have off of the Four Seasons. It allows you to enjoy these views nearly anywhere in the house. We made our way to the entry side of the home with a great covered porch spanning this entire area. This is a deep covered porch with plenty of opportunity for seating. The hand hewing captures my attention as it reflects the light differently throughout the material. This covered porch walking surface is finished with our favorite maintenance-free composite material. There's great depth and texture to it. It is also slip resistant. It also has a great advantage of not getting too hot, staying comfortable on your feet, even if you're barefoot in the summertime, which is important to consider when you're on a beach setting. These are black powder-coated aluminum spindles. They add into that industrial vibe that we've seen with the heavy black metal elements. It carries those finishes to the exterior. Now this front door we talked about a little bit from inside the house, but this is a maintenance-free fiberglass wood grain pattern. This color was selected by the homeowners at our One Stop Design Center showroom. We even applied a maintenance-free clad jam, a dark bronze sill, and all of that ties together with these Pella aluminum clad windows. This has been an incredible tour with so many great ideas. Comment below with what your favorites are. You're gonna love today's tour. This is an incredible cabin sitting alongside a lake, and it is perfect for family and hosting. Let's check it out. These clients were looking to relocate upon retirement. And something that was really important to them was they wanted to be in a location where they'd be near grandchildren and of course their kids. They figured, well, if we build alongside a lake and we have a log cabin with plenty of places for them to stay, then of course they're gonna come and build memories here all the time. They started out with our mountain view floor plan. Now all of our homes are ultra custom, But that mountain view, it's known for its beautiful gable dormers up there. Of course, the grand feature wall and this huge covered porch. Now, this home has been modified so much that you're not even gonna recognize it as the mountain view. A great example how anything can be done is we've included a balcony over here. You get a whole new perspective of the lake. And I'm eager to show you what we've done above the garage. But before we do, let's jump back outside and get started with the exterior tour. There are beautiful finishes on this home. These Pella windows have this dark red color, something that we don't see nearly often enough. I think it adds a lot of rich warmth to the home. We also have a brown tone dark and brown tone light stain color from Sashco. These are great. What I love about these stains is that they accumulate more pigment in more of the hand-hewn areas and where the knots are. It offers more character and really accents the wood. I just love that. These are our button pass corners, 8-inch hand peel. It's just the authentic log home right there. Now, when you look at broad strokes of a log home, you've gotta have that gable covered porch like what's beyond me here. That is extra tall. And here's something really important. There is no obstruction to your view whatsoever. Of course, we're alongside a lake. This home is often located in the mountains as well. You don't want to interfere with that mountain view. And that is coincidentally, once again, the name of the original floor plan of this home, the Mountain View. Everyone loves log railings on these homes. These are white cedar with the same stain color as the primary wall finish. And then these spindles are a maintenance-free powder coated in a black finish. This is great because it allows your view to pass through. Not that there's much obstruction to the view. And when we look out at that view, that is a private bay. You're not gonna get any boat traffic in there. That's perfect for the kids. And there's a beautiful beach. The kids can run in from the beach and up to the bunkhouse, heading up this stair. This is great with all the outdoor furniture. You can just enjoy hearing the birds and watching the boats pass by. Here's what our clients love about our maintenance-free decking. First of all, it's got a lot of texture to it. That texture not only is important so it's not slippery, but also it looks really good from a distance. It picks up the light a bit differently. Secondly, it is not nearly as hot as some maintenance-free deckings get. It disperses the heat very evenly. And it's very gentle on whether they're paws of pets or even just little kids. When you're on a beach like that, you're not oftentimes wearing shoes. Third, it's a great color and the color goes all the way through the material. It just is as good as it gets. We extend into this room. There's a screen porch just over there. There are two things I would absolutely do in an outdoor space. Infrared heaters are perfect, especially in a climate like this where we can get some cold winters. And then there's also this incredible Monte Carlo fan. It's got 3 blades, it's a propeller fan that's gonna help keep that air fresh, move it around. Now just think about this. We are alongside a lake. Of course, you're gonna have yard games, pool toys, many other miscellaneous outdoor items. You don't wanna have to go all the way to the garage to go find them. This is so convenient that it's accessed right on the lake side rather than going all the way around to the garage. There is a direct connection for fueling the grill. That is convenient. You'll never have to bring a propane tank around. And you'll never run out of gas in the middle of a cook. I also love the location of this. We're a part of the environment, right? Everyone's hanging out, you're grilling the burgers. We also have convenient access into the kitchen over there. There's just so much more. It's gonna be a repetitive theme of this tour of how well placed everything is and the great flow of being able to get around the home. So let's head up here. The outdoor space continues with this balcony that overlooks the lake. Something I don't want to overlook as we're up here is when you walk up those stairs, you can see that everything is picture framed. There are no exposed cut ends on these boards. It's just that extra attention to detail that makes this a Golden Eagle log and timber home. I love it up here. This is great. We do offer a little bit more of a cozy environment. We're not on that massive deck down there. So it's nice. We also have the coverage above us with the infrared heaters. And now we have a gas fireplace. This thing puts off some heat. On a warm Iowa day like it is today, this is a bit overkill, of course, but it's perfect for those crisp evenings, especially in the fall. The homeowners say it doesn't burn through much gas either, so it's ultra efficient. Another big theme to pay attention to on this home is ceiling planes. And we see that on this covered porch. Rather than just keeping it flat all the way across, it vaults up, adding a lot more volume to this space. We also get a lot of great interest with these huge windows. You should see this in the evening time. It is absolutely beautiful to see all the light coming from the home and just glowing out here on the covered balcony. You've seen how good it looks on the back, but there is still a lot to see on the front of the home as well. There is certainly curb appeal on this home. I really think oftentimes it's more of a symptom of a lake view and a mountain view, that all the beauty of the home is on the other side, not on the side you approach. With Golden Eagle, we really look at it from the all-around experience. We want to see those gable dormers here, that incredible gable covered porch. And I also love when a garage doesn't necessarily look like a garage. And that's what's happening above us. These gables are allowing for the bunk room above. Take a look at the garage doors. We've got wall sconces above each door. That's a great continuation of what you'll see inside the home as well. These garage doors are absolutely stunning. There's so much depth to them. They've got the shaker styling. You'll see that throughout the rest of the home. And then I also like the grids. There's a great texture to this, and it's got the oak wood pattern. So it's a great color. It all comes together really well. Of course, these are insulated. This is a heated garage. All the floors in this home are heated. We have a heated workshop just beyond me over there. We'll touch base on that. So we've got a great continuation of all the same wall finishes that were on the home are used on the garage as well. Take a look at the covered porch. This door is made out of a fir wood species. It's handcrafted. Take a look at the dowels in there. That's a Simpson door. They're Nantucket door style, insulated glass. This thing is so well built. Any craftsman, someone that specializes in millwork, they would be impressed with this door, as well as so many of the finishes in this home. This is the aluminum clad jamb, a maintenance-free jamb, ties in perfectly with Pella's maintenance-free aluminum windows. Well, these are awesome windows. You've got that cladding on the exterior and then a pre-finished wood on the interior. Now, most people think that they should have side lights on their door to bring in light, but we can take it so much further by incorporating windows on each side of the door. There's a lot more value in doing it this way. Of course, you get a much bigger window, more natural light. It looks stunning, but when you've got a big canvas like this with this huge wall, you're gonna want big windows like this rather than 12-inch or 14-inch side lights. This is the convenience of a one-stop shop like Golden Eagle with our Design Center showroom. We're able to get these colors to match. Everything goes together so well. Even take a look at those architectural shingles. They've got a brown color with a red tint to them that ties in great with that wineberry red color that we've got in the windows and doors. Come around over here. This is stunning. So these are double doors. That way all the shop equipment can be pulled out. So when you're using the saw and you got the dust going around, you've got a really well ventilated space. There's a zero threshold sill heading into there, making it easy to roll everything out. That'll take us into the house just over here. Did you notice above me? That's a balcony. It connects the main house into the bunkhouse. It's one of my favorite things about this home. It is so cool. We've got awning windows up there, terrific for ventilation. There's such great light, and it's just a beautiful space. So we'll touch base on that shortly, but before we do, let's head into the workshop and the garage. Recall that I love it when the garage looks like it's the rest of the home, and we're able to do that by locating the workshop here. You can put in these big windows, the double doors, the half glass, brings in all that light, but it also isn't a bad view. You're not ever gonna be hesitant about someone being able to look into the workshop because it looks so good, whereas you may not want people looking into a traditional garage. If you're running a business out of your home, you may want separation like this because if any clients visit the home, they're not gonna be in the main living space. And it's also easy to come and go. You can see them as they arrive. This is such a good flex space. I love the idea of incorporating this into the garage. This home is supported with solar energy. How cool is that? So these are atop of this entire structure. You don't even see them. This is such a tall building, plus they blend into the shingles. That energy is fed into these Tesla battery banks. And then when the home doesn't have much demand, they sell that energy back to the grid. This garage is also hooked up with future electric vehicle charging. So all of that is in place. Let's head out this way. This home has smart deadbolts. So rather than walking all the way over here to make sure it's locked, it's very convenient with the Schlage smart deadbolt that you can check it through a phone app. And then if it is unlocked, of course, you can remotely lock it. With as beautiful as the home is on the exterior, I am sure you're eager to see what's inside. When you walk into the home, you've got that view of the lake. That's what the feature wall is all about. But what makes this special with that loft above, you don't quite see what's happening in the upper gable until you step into here and you can see the beautiful sky as well as the structure of those logs coming together for that turkey track truss system. So this is a wonderful space, so warm and inviting. It's just perfect for a family cabin along a lake. When you first enter this gray room, everyone thinks they're gonna wanna be looking out this way. But when you have these seats as well, there's so much interest in looking at the architecture of the home. Look at all those inverted valleys, the way the roof system comes together, this massive post as it continues all the way up to the ridge. And then your eye catches the beautiful windows up there. That's where we were before with that balcony. We've got really good light and terrific views with both of these patio doors, making the dining room a good contender for some of the best seating in the house. We also have a beautiful light fixture. I love how tall it is. It really is perfect for the volume in this space. And then those finishes with a bit of this industrial aesthetic, they carry through to the pendant lights above the island peninsula. I just absolutely love this kitchen. I love what was done with the hanging pots and pans because that really plays into that industrial aesthetic as well. Also with the open shelving. All of this is built out of the same material with that exposed piping and some reclaimed timber boards. The cabinets are a rustic hickory, perfect for a log home. We also have rustic hickory on this flooring. It's an engineered hardwood flooring. And look how great it ties together. This is what I love about rustic hickory. There's a lot of variability. It's a very interesting wood. And I think it brings a lot of character to the home. We have some pretty cool appliances in this kitchen. This looks like it's a double oven, and I suppose it technically is. We do have our traditional oven here. I love the roll trays on this oven. It's just gonna be so easy to put that heavy turkey in there. You can adjust that roll tray would be on the lower rack. We also have a microwave here. How great is that? So it hinges down and it's more than a microwave. This is also a convection oven. That's really convenient. We have an induction cooktop over here. And what I love about induction is, of course, not only that it's really efficient and very even heating, it's also a much more safer cooktop rather than a gas cooktop. And they've got a lot of young grandkids here at this house. But also, I love the extra storage that we get by being able to incorporate a top drawer up here. The homeowners mentioned that they love this cutlery organizer. How convenient is it? You're in the middle of the workspace. So easy to keep organized and tidy. You may hear a lot of interior designers say it's common to mix metals. Not everything has to be black. And that's what you're seeing here. So we've got this satin nickel on the faucet hardware, black on the piping and the pulls. And then we're pulling into, like, take a look at the knurling on this. So on the hardware for the appliances, it pulls in then to the faucet itself. So not everything needs to be the same. It's perfectly okay to have a little bit of variety. There's also great opportunity with consistency, particularly with glass. So we've got seated glass on these wall cabinets in the kitchen. You're also going to see seated glass on a lot of the light fixtures throughout the home. So it's just a nice touch, a great continuation as you work your way throughout the space. The best kitchen designers think far beyond how good the kitchen will look, and they also like to consider how will it be used. How are you going to access items within the space? Oftentimes, clients who are on the shorter end struggle with the idea of imagining themselves utilizing the cabinet above the refrigerator. So for these clients, we designed this special space allocated for their step stool. That's so convenient. And then for those who don't need the step stool, they can still get easy access into this cabinet with roll trays. Rather than having one large roll tray, this is divided. Allows you to easily step into this area and grab anything from the side. We really love utilizing roll trays. They're in a lot of the base cabinets in this kitchen, but I think what's really important is putting them in a pantry cabinet. Just imagine if those were fixed shelves, things would get lost in that area. I can now easily access these boxes in the back. It allows for you to keep a much more organized and tidy space, and homeowners love it. Two decorative panels have been applied to this pantry cabinet. That way it has a finished aesthetic and it looks like they could be cabinet doors, but you and I know that's actually the side of the cabinet door. Something very similar has been done on the back of these base cabinets for the Peninsula. So these are applied, but take a look over here. Being that we've got the depth in this space, we now have another cabinet. Look at all these roll trays. You'd have no idea that that's even there. I had referenced this earlier when we were out by the grill, but look how easy it is to get out to that space. We got the patio door here, even another door just around the corner. Now let's say you're coming in from the garage. It's great to have a bathroom located just off this entryway. As well as for those that are using the lake, this is going to be their quick and easy to access bathroom. Just beyond this space, we have the washer and dryer. That's great because you're gonna have all those beach towels and those wet clothes. Good space for that, plenty of hanging racks, cabinets above, and I know you're all looking at it, so let's talk about it. This is an awesome sink. This is just perfect for the style of this home. Really a beautiful faucet as well. I just absolutely love it. And what I really like is that this door is oftentimes left open. So you see this when you're over in the kitchen area, and I think it really ties together because it pulls in that aesthetic of what we saw with the kitchen sink. And lastly, there's this stool. This came from one of the Golden Eagle logs, and this was cut off as, of course, a nice step stool for the grandkids. Just absolutely love that. We've got the wall sconce above, really serving as more of the aesthetic of a pendant light, but certainly is a wall sconce. That's another great continuation that you're gonna see throughout this home. You're also going to see quite a few barn doors. These are beautiful. Nearly all the doors in this home are going to have a rustic wood species. That would be all the interior doors will have a rustic wood species. So we've got rustic alder here, and then rustic pine on the other interior doors. So we'll start to see those next as we head to the master suite. Imagine you've got a view like this and you get great morning sunrises. You're gonna wanna see that when you wake up in the morning, which is why that window was made to be extra tall. That is just great. We also get some really nice light coming in from the transom above the bed. I think that's terrific, and that's not just an ordinary fixed transom, it's actually an awning unit, so you can get ventilation up there as well. Now take a look at what's behind this door. The other barn door we just saw had two diagonals forming a K pattern. We've got a double X on the bottom panel on this. So while we've got the consistency of it being rustic alder and the same color, we've changed the style. So I think that's something important to point out. We also have a mirror hidden here. That is great. To be able to have a full length mirror in your bedroom, this is really convenient. A terrific use of that wall space. Did you notice that as soft close? You gotta do soft close on barn doors. If you're not, you are missing the boat. I can tell you that there's more to it than just the fact that they close with that soft glide mechanism. it also holds them in place so they don't creep away on you over time. This is a beautiful master bathroom. At first glance, here's what I love to see. We've got a floating vanity. It allows for that tile to continue through. It elongates out the space. It also allows for some nice indirect lighting under there. The clients like using it as just a night light in the evening time. But it also is just a nice accenting feature. Oftentimes people look at home design and they think everything's gotta be symmetrical. But take a look at this. Proportionally, it all makes sense. It all feels very well balanced, even though we've got extra large drawers over here and normal sized drawers on the other side. Drawers are a terrific idea in a bathroom. You don't have large items that you're storing in these cabinets. They're oftentimes very small. Those would just get lost on shelves. A drawer is going to be really easy for storage, just like what we saw on those roll trays in the kitchen. Love the extra storage that we get with this tall wall linen cabinet. And then of course, your traditional medicine cabinet. Some may be tempted to add a second sink, but I'd much rather have this extra vanity space and tall cabinet, because it's not very often that two people need to be at the sink at the same time. We've got a really big walk-in shower. The use of these glass panels makes everything feel so much bigger. And when you put the money into this tile shower, you want to be able to see it and enjoy it, which you do when you're in the rest of the bathroom. Just absolutely gorgeous with these custom built niches, beautiful faucets. I love how everything is seamless. There is no barrier to get into the shower. It's ADA accessible. Really cool towel racks here, and then a toilet tucked around the corner, hidden away. Just think that's great. The window over here has obscure glass in it. Of course, it gives you privacy, but what I also really like about it is, first of all, we don't have a view, so we're not too worried about the view. And it also brings in a lot of soft light into the space. Soft light is your friend when it comes to design. You don't want a lot of direct light. That's why oftentimes when a living room, for example, if we head back out to the living room, we'll see that it's very soft in there. That's because a lot of the light is not directly coming into the space. A must-have of building a log home is you gotta have a cool stair system. This is our easy log stair system with full log stringers, half log treads. You've got the metal work in those brackets, and that's perfect for what was done on site here with this custom railing system. So let's head upstairs. You'll see it's great that all this light passes through the stairwell, and we've got the flooding of natural light coming in from this upper gable window. We get a whole new perspective of the lake, and I also really like the perspective of being able to see out the windows over there as well. But before we enter this space, let's head into this bedroom. I hinted when we were outside that all those dormers were going to create some incredible roof lines. Well, now we are inside of the gable dormer, and this is gorgeous the way it leads up to the ridge in the house. When you're laying in this bed, yes, you'll probably be admiring that view, but if it were me, I'd be looking at the structure of the home, and it is impressive. With this home, there are no excuses for your kids and grandkids not to visit. Especially imagine you've got a young family in this case. We have a nursery attached onto this room. We've got the double barn doors, so we can close that off. That's really nice. Keep it quiet for the baby in there. This is a really big space as well. And once again, we're touching on those roof lines and the structure of that gable dormer. Just absolutely love it, a really good touch. Let's head over here to the guest bathroom. Barn doors are very popular. Oftentimes, people are looking for opportunities to use them. You know, sometimes you're limited on wall space, but that's not the case here. Someone may consider, well, how are you gonna lock a barn door in a bathroom? You're gonna need to lock it, right? Well, this is ingenious. We've got a latch right there. So that gets received into the barn door and it catches it. Now just imagine the door gets closed and that gets locked. We can still put a pin through there. That way if the grandkids are playing, someone accidentally gets locked in, you can still easily access that door. Now let's admire the bathroom itself. We've got 2 vessel sinks, granite top, rustic hickory cabinets. Very much a continuation of a lot of what we've seen before. We've got that seated glass, just like what we had seen in the kitchen. That is beautiful. I love it. I want to see some texture in glass on light fixtures. And the main reason is, if there is any dust on there, anything like that, you're not even going to notice because it is textured glass. Rather than clear glass, it shows everything. Oftentimes with big railings like this, someone will continue to use these wood spindles all the way through. But this is a great way to incorporate more metal elements by having a stack of 3 powder-coated aluminum spindles separating each of the wood spindles. I think that's great. And while we're down here, take a look at that outlet. Can you just imagine the Christmas decorations up here? How convenient that you don't need to hang any cords anywhere, that they'll plug in just down there. Let's talk about tech a little bit. Above me here are Sonos speakers. We've got that throughout the home as well as outdoors. And just above that, we've got a Ubiquiti Unify access point. And there's also one outdoors as well. And that's meant to really broadcast the internet down to the beachfront. That way, if you're streaming anything down there, you don't have to use data. You can go right off of the home Wi-Fi. It's really convenient. With these homes, everything is about scale, isn't it? You know, you got the big posts, the massive trim on the feature wall with the logs on the feature wall, and then it gets toned down on some more of the support spaces, like this accenting wall over here, and then a more appropriately sized trim with the 1x4 double bevel. And this is pre-finished. It matches the Pella windows on the interior as well as the interior doors that we have in the home. So we've got really convenient storage just over here, and you're gonna love this balcony. It connects us from the upper loft in the main house over to the bunk room. Can you just imagine being in this space and having that natural light come in and flood it? You could be doing your yoga, your morning stretching routine, and just really enjoying the solitude. I can see the lake just over there. We've got fresh air with ventilation of these awning units. The cathedral roof lines in this space just add a lot more grandeur to it, and it makes it much more than just a connection. It's an architectural statement of this house. It's something you desire to go see. You see it when you pull up to the driveway. You see these beautiful windows with the light pouring out of them. And you ask yourself, what is that? I gotta go see it. It's just one of my favorites of this home. And it connects us into the bunkhouse. The bunkhouse, if someone is up here, you could separate it, help keep the noise down with these double doors. These are custom doors with the glass, the double cross bucks. Really ties into the barn doors that we've seen throughout this space. I love these magnetic catches that we've got down here. The push plates on there, even some really nice pulls were on the other side of that door. Got a kitchenette. I mean, everything that you would need if you're a family staying here, visiting grandma and grandpa, like this is perfect. Absolutely perfect. Like a great hangout spot as the grandkids grow up and they become teenagers. Like this is where the teenagers will be. That's for sure. They've even got a refrigerator, a half-size dishwasher for small dishwasher loads, their own sink, plenty of light, access to bedrooms, and wait until you see the bathroom. You haven't seen all the bedrooms yet, but just think about this. If you were to ask yourself, will there be enough room to host people? Yes, there is plenty of room. So then you need to think about the bathroom setup, right? You want someone to be able to use the shower and have their own dressing room and close this door so you have complete privacy there. Someone can then use the toilet area, have their own privacy. You know, you're not locking people out of the bathroom. You've got these compartmentalized spaces, and it just makes a lot of sense. And you get a lot more flexibility where this is still very comfortable if just 2 are here or if there are 20. I think it's brilliant. And what a stunning bathroom. This vessel sink, a big trough that we have, is I just think a really cool feature, and it's sized so appropriately underneath this sink. It is certainly a statement piece, and with the big cathedral ceiling, what a great way to highlight artwork and just some of my favorite features of this bathroom is the hardwood flooring, and it flows in to that reclaimed cabinetry. And then there are some hidden features in this cabinetry that you wouldn't think of at first glance, but look at this. These are actually roll trays. We've continued on with more roll trays in this home. Everything is thought of, just all the details. There are towels over there and plenty of storage. Everything is thought out for visitors. See, when you've got someone visiting your home, they're not gonna know what's behind all the cabinetry. That's why it's great to have everything accessible and easy to view. It makes sense that in this bathroom with these compartmentalized spaces, that these doors would have obscure glass in them. That way you could tell if the light's on in there or not. You know, especially with young grandkids running around, it wouldn't be too uncommon for them to be opening and closing doors, and this removes the uncertainty that that room is occupied or not. A big perk of being in this lofted space is we've got all these high ceilings throughout here and in each of the bedrooms. Each bedroom is great. There's certainly gonna be no arguing over who gets which room. There's a total of 8 beds throughout this entire space. There are queen beds, king beds, fulls. I mean, it's just awesome. A lot of great light. And while there are all these beds, there is still plenty of space, even room for a crib, for dressers, and so on. So that when you bring the luggage, it's not gonna get too crowded in here. There are 2 ways to access this space. Of course, from that balcony, we also have direct access to the garage. Think of how convenient that is. When you're traveling with little ones, there's a lot of stuff to bring. So you park the truck and you can come directly up the stairs. Just think that's brilliant. So I'm gonna head down there. I'll meet you guys outside. I can't imagine all the memories they'll be creating here. If you're ready to get started on your dream home and start creating those memories, then give us a call. And if you'd like more new home ideas, click this playlist here. You are gonna love this tour, and you'll see why we call this the ultimate cabin. This home is located on 3.5 acres overlooking Newfound Lake, known to be one of the cleanest lakes in the world. Not only do we have a bird sanctuary over here, but we're also nearby a national forest. With about 800 feet above the lake, we can see for miles. When the homeowners would visit this property, they found that eagles were regularly nesting right over there in the distance. And that's why they named this Eagle Ridge Log Home. We sit atop a granite ridge, and this is just a beautiful piece of property, and they've incorporated granite not only around the fire pit area, but also as we work our way up to the patio. This granite is special with a lot of beautiful color in it. The natural brown tones tie into the stain on the home, and we can see that the granite just glistens in the sunlight. The materials at this home were selected at Golden Eagle Log and Timber Homes, and we hand selected that stone to match perfectly with the granite that we've got on the property here. Now, all the colors tying together play an important role in the home's overall aesthetic. That stone ties in perfectly with the stain that's being used on these hand-peeled logs. We've got quarter-round windows on this feature wall. This home is featuring Pella's aluminum-clad windows with a pre-finished wood interior. The windows are very special, high quality, and energy efficient. Sitting on top of a mountain in this New England weather, you never know what you're gonna get, so it's important to make sure that you've got energy efficient windows. Each of these homes is customized to exactly what the client wants. Now this home, we wanted to make sure not to have a covered porch because we knew that they wanted to be able to see the eagles flying around out here, and the covered porch may obstruct the view when the eagles are high up in the sky. Also, you can see beautiful storm fronts coming in from the distance and allow us to see all that, including the beautiful stars at night. Now, while looking at the roof system, we do have a 2-foot overhang, which helps keep snow from accumulating up against the house. The spotlights in the gable are oriented not only downward, but also upward to highlight the snow as it falls in the wintertime. While going through the design process, we'll explore all the options. In this case, we've got a sliding patio door, and the homeowners preferred this rather than double doors because then they can utilize the screen as really an extension of their screen-covered porch area. It allows for great airflow into the home, especially on a crisp day like today. Many who have stayed here have commented that they love using this hot tub, especially in the fall time. But it is available any time of the year. And even if you lose power with this unpredictable New England weather, and that's because we've got a whole home generator. This generator is smart enabled, sending you instant notifications to your phone whenever it turns on. Another great consideration is elevating it, which is important in snow country because you want to make sure that snow is not building up against the generator. Now on the approach of the home, we've got a 2-stall garage, 18-foot wide garage door. This is perfect for 2 large vehicles. Right above it, we've got our signature turkey track with the maintenance-free shakes. That's our entry door with a Schlage and code deadbolt. What's special about that is for anyone that visits the home, they'll have their own code for getting into the home. We've also got this beautiful feature wall with logs stacked all the way up to the top. We've got the 3 windows with our great accents of these purlins that stick through underneath the soffit and fascia. Over here, we've got a continuation of that same styling with the maintenance-free materials on these dormers. A great consideration with those dormers is that having them on each side of the loft allows us to have a full-size loft with plenty of headroom for both bedrooms that are up there. Now you're gonna love what you see right around the corner. This is the screen porch, and it's screened from floor to ceiling on 3 sides. Not only does that allow for great views, but also allows the breeze to flow all the way through. Here are some great design tips for elevating your screen porch to the next level. We've got a drink rail on 3 sides, got ambient lighting above us, a dedicated coffee area for the morning sunrise, and even a nice dining room table for getting the family together as the sun sets in the evening. And when it's a crisp fall day, you'll be bringing the blanket out with your favorite book and cozying up on the couch. One last great idea before we head on inside is that the lights are hooked up to an outlet, which is connected to a dimmer switch. That way you don't have a cord dangling in your way. Everything looks tidy and in place. This is just a great idea. Now let's head on in. There's still so much more to see. How nice is this? It just keeps getting better on this tour. We've got some luxury living inside because imagine you're coming in from a big day on the ski slopes. How nice is it to warm up against the fire? We've got a beautiful hearthstone here, one large piece of granite with a nice contour to it, a beautiful radius, and then also this puts off just a beautiful flame, emitting some really good heat. I can feel it from here and it feels great. The stone, it's the same stone that we saw on the exterior of the home, pulling in all the colors once again. We've got this massive log mantle. This just looks so great, offering a great accent against all this stone. And we've got quite a bit of height in this room, so that stone really draws your eye to this center point. Of course, we've got a TV up here. It's not a large focal point in this space because let's remember, we've got that incredible view. You want to be looking out of these patio doors and the windows above. I had mentioned these patio doors earlier. Now let's remember, these are all made of the highest quality materials. Even the thought of having the screen on the inside, that way snow and ice doesn't build up on that screen in the winter time. What's also nice is you can control the ventilation. So if you wanted just this much ventilation into the room, then that would be fitting. Whereas if you had double doors or a full swing door, it's either fully open or fully closed. So this is really convenient. And of course, we've got that on the other side with a nice dining table. But let's remember, most of the time, we'll want to be out on that screen porch. Now let's get into the kitchen. It's always so nice to have an island. You can have others sit around you. As you're cooking at the island, you could be facing outward, and this is terrific. This island is pulling it all together with its darker finish which ties in the dark wood grain that we see on the rustic hickory cabinets on the perimeter. On the back of the stool, there is a carving of a black bear. So this property is known to have seen black bear, moose, white-tailed deer. There is a ton of great wildlife. You'll spot a lot of this throughout the home. There's even a raccoon carving up there. How cool is that? We've got a 6-burner gas cooktop here. Now also behind me, got a wall-mounted oven, a microwave above. Everything is top of the line when it comes to appliances. Most of this is Bosch. Got the GE Monogram series over there, which is super high-end. We've also got your signature double pot and pan drawer. These are so convenient because there's a lot of flexibility in that storage. You've also seen in many of our other videos in the past that we like doing an inverted sink-based drawer. That puts the drawer on the bottom, and what it also does is it elevates then this middle shelf height so that when you're bending over to reach items, they're not nearly as far down. It's very convenient. That was also a great convenience of increasing the height on the oven so that it was at a more manageable height for accessing items. We've got the dishwasher over here, and when you're by the dishwasher, you want to make sure that you're always keeping that close to the sink and then also in the center of the kitchen. That way when you're putting away items, everything is easily accessible. There's not too much foot traffic to get from one place to the next. The clients customized everything in this home, even the kitchen cabinets. They wanted to make sure that they had storage over here, so we've got a big pantry pull-out with pull-out drawers. And then also what we did to add a little bit more of a dynamic element to the space is we staggered the heights up in 3-inch increments. And then we also staggered the depths of the wall cabinets from 12 inches to 21 to 24 inches deep. This offers a lot of great dimension to this space. Now, speaking of dimension, lighting, it plays a huge effect in how a space feels. Under cabinet lighting serves 2 functions. It performs as task lighting, but also it's great ambient light even if you're sitting in the great room space. Now take a look at the light above the sink here. This is just perfect. A lot of people are looking for a light right above the kitchen sink. We've got a single bowl stainless steel. Single bowl is very convenient if you're ever gonna have any large dishes in there. Also, another thing to keep in mind is when you've got that center divider, you need to make sure that the faucet doesn't line up directly over it because then it would splash on that center divider and you get ultimate flexibility with the single bowl sink. Take a look at this Venetian bronze. This looks beautiful. This is from Delta. It ties in great with all the other hardware that we see throughout the home. The door pulls have a dark bronze finish. We even see that on the drawer pulls as well. These are really nice. We've got wood dovetail corners here, a cutlery divider, and what's also nice is having soft closed drawers. That way you don't hear the rattling of the silverware in there when you close it. Consider where the garbage bins will go. It's nice to have them in storage, but also on the outside of the kitchen. That way while the chef is preparing the meal, anyone that needs to throw anything away doesn't have to interfere with their workflow. Imagine you've been spending all evening out on that nice screen porch. You can use this as a drop zone and you've got the garbage nearby. That's very convenient rather than a 2-step process of dropping it here and taking it across the kitchen. The great room feels spacious not only because of the extra tall ceilings, which accommodate a full-size loft up there, and just the visual overflow of being able to see into the loft makes the space feel significantly larger, but also the great large windows in here allowing you to look out and bring in all that natural light. It just makes this feel like a very comfortable space. And that's what it's about at the Eagle Ridge Log Home. This place feels comfortable. Now take a look at the wall finishes. These light brown tones and light colors, they all play off each other, reflect a light, warm, cozy feeling. This all came pre-finished from Golden Eagle. When you look at these wall finishes, this 1x8 Ponderosa pine, it has beautiful wood grain in it, and this all came factory pre-finished, and it also has end matching, offering just that craftsmanship aesthetic when you see it all assembled together. There are a lot of subtle details in this home, and that's really what makes it special. It's the blend of bringing all those details together. Even take a look at the flooring. We've got a hickory flooring. It's a wide plank hickory, which ties into those kitchen perimeter cabinets. Now, hickory has a very unique wood grain, offering some good contrast and unique details. Also, what's great about hickory is it's a very, very strong wood. It's gonna hold up to the toughest of conditions, which is perfect for a vacation rental. Also, the way that this flooring was laid, it was laid in this direction, which means that when you walk into the space, it's going to draw your eye up and out toward the great room view. Heading on toward the bedrooms of the house, I just want to point out we've got a smart thermostat right here, essential for a family cabin, or in this case, a vacation rental. And take a look at these doors. A shaker style on this, a 3-panel shaker. If you're staying here, be sure to check out this closet. That is a terrific game closet. A lot of great ones in there. You'll be sure to like them. We've got a full bathroom over here with a tub shower unit, a nice toilet seat, high-rise elongated bowl, soft close seats. We've got 6 drawers in this vanity. Take a look at this. We've got a chipped edge. This is an 1.5 inch thick top with an integrated bowl in a rectangular shape. This looks really cool. Here's a great feature of this. There is no lip here, no edge to clean under. So these are really easy to keep clean. We've got that Venetian bronze finish on the Delta faucet, continuing just like what we saw in the kitchen area. A great idea to consider when designing your bathroom spaces is a vanity wall cabinet. Not only does this give you a great display opportunity, but also you can store extra toilet paper up there. It's of course convenient to always have a window in here, and that's great with the ventilation of a single hung. We can slide it up for just a little bit of ventilation or all the way. And take a look at this mirror. This was custom made for the homeowners. It's got a wire brush finish and a darker stain applied to tie in great with this vanity cabinet. Now speaking of custom pieces, you've got to see what's in the master suite. Now take a look at this hope chest. We've got a mixture of the new stain color and the original stain, different textures on here. There's some wire brushing. It's really a unique piece, and we see that also on the nightstands and the dresser set over here. Now this bed makes a statement. It's a king-size bed with a massive headboard and footboard. We've got wormholing in here, some unique knots. It really is a great statement piece. The windows in here, they're bringing in a lot of great natural light, getting a nice morning breeze in here. This ceiling fan was custom made for the homeowners, just like what we saw on those door pulls in the kitchen, and they prefer to have more of a nightlight effect above. They didn't really want it to illuminate the room, but serve as nice ambient light in the evening time. And we've got the nice carving of the moose up there. We also see that on these wall sconces. Now what's special about these, you'll notice that they're on a light switch on the wall so that the homeowners, they can dim these lights and then turn them off at the end of the evening. That is some great foresight. Now let's move on. We've got 2 more guest bedrooms to check out, and they're upstairs in the loft. Being up here offers a whole new appreciation. Not only can we see the great view from a whole new angle, we get a great perspective of the lake, but also you start to realize just how large those tie beams are that span over the great room and kitchen area. This is where I want to work if I'm working from home. So be sure to bring your laptop. Everything has high-speed internet. We are all connected here. It may seem like we're in the middle of nowhere, but we are all set up. This is perfect. Now let's head to the 2 other bedroom areas. Both rooms are exactly the same. The homeowners mentioned that when they have families staying here and the kids would come up to these rooms, they didn't want the kids to have conversations over which room is better versus the other. They're both equally great. We've got 2 windows in each room, vaulted ceilings. And take a look at these lamps. We've even got an eagle atop of it with the moose below. We've got more great decor in the other room as well. And we've got the full bathroom right over here with the same amenities that we saw in the master bath. You may have noticed the American flag at the front of the home. This one is very special as well. This is made out of a fire hose from the LA Fire Department. I've got something else very special to show you. Follow me as we head back downstairs. There is an important detail in this fireplace chase which may be easy to overlook. This piece of steel was pulled from the rubble at ground zero of the World Trade Center towers. This has been cut into the shape of New Hampshire and placed as a keystone atop the fireplace. Not only does it memorialize 9/11, but it also serves an important remembrance. One of the homeowners is serving as a firefighter, so this symbolism goes a long way. This is great out here. Being here at Eagle Ridge, you're just living in the moment. And one thing comes after another, and you find yourself at the end of the day around a campfire cooking s'mores. There was sure a lot of great stuff to see, and as you can tell, this is a place you've got to test drive for yourself. Check out the link in the description so you can book your stay. Burning. I think it's fine.
I don't know.
Pretty crazy looking.
What do I need to do?
Jeez. Welcome to the mountains of Western North Carolina. We have an incredible home tour for you today, one that is full of ideas. And I am nearly certain that you'll see something on the exterior of this home that you've never seen before. You don't want to miss this tour. This is a ranch-style home with a finished walkout basement. We're at 3,700 square feet throughout the home, but that doesn't include the outdoor spaces, which brings up the total square footage to 5,300 square feet. This is a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom home, and we've got the grand vaulted ceilings with this panoramic feature wall. This wall is 26 feet wide, 20 tall up to the ridge, and each of these Pella window units are so large that it leaves the view unobstructed. We've got great sight lines to the mountains off in the distance, and even the deck outside of this wall has been lowered down so that we don't look through that top rail on that exterior railing. Let's admire the trim around these windows. 4 inches thick and 12 inches wide. It's hand hewn on the face as well as the edges, and it nearly fills this entire wall. We're either looking at glass or that hand hewn trim. We've really maximized the amount of usage that we have on the wall, even bringing it down to the floor with that trim serving as baseboard. The hand hewing will continue on this entire first level. Wait till you see what was done in the basement. It's a bit of a different finish. And then we've got that 2x6 around the doors. The doors throughout this home are 8 feet tall. And you'll see we're maximizing the usage of glass. And here's what I love about this door in particular. It's gonna remain open quite often, and it does have a screen on the exterior of it. This will allow for some really good airflow throughout the home. And then we overflow into a covered porch area. We'll get out there in the future. But let's stay inside. I had mentioned that this is an 8-foot tall door. Well, the actual ceiling height, the wall height, is at 10 feet. And then, of course, our ceiling height changes throughout this whole cathedral ceiling. But you will not find a wall shorter than 10 feet throughout this home. It gives you a sense of the volume of the space. It is impressive. We have 12-inch bandboard up there. And that's why these wall heights are so important to consider, because we have all these unique materials throughout the home, and we want to ensure that everything is going to fit and be proportionally to scale. At Golden Eagle, we love using authentic mortise and tenon timber trusses because of all the ornate detail that goes into them, and it's a traditional ode to the craftsmanship that's been around for generations. And then most importantly to me is the depth of different dimensions. There's 8x8 materials, that's 8 inches by 8 inches, as well as 8x6. Those shadow lines, they add a lot of interest and they look great. One thing that you may not notice is that those are built out of Douglas fir. And then we are combining that with the use of eastern white pine in the other trim areas. But Douglas fir was used for the structural integrity of that truss. What's great about these trusses is that they are all pre-cut and assembled before they're ever delivered to the job site. So when they're being assembled, there is never any uncertainty as to how they'll go together. The ridge material is a 4x8 installed on end, and then we also have a very special ceiling finish. This is what we call carved nickel space. There is such great variability in that ceiling finish. You can see the different textures as well as the other markings that were left from the saw. What it simulates is more of a traditional barn where you've got reclaimed material, but in fact, this is all brand new wood and it's pre-finished and matched, and it comes in a variety of lengths. So that makes it great for installation and adds a lot of intrigue. I think that's so important on a ceiling like this when you have a lot of different ceiling finishes, as well as natural light, because it adds variety and interest, and the natural light catches those textures differently throughout the day, and I think it draws your eye up and adds a lot of interest. Just think about this. How often are you in a home and you spend time admiring the ceiling? That's what's happening in this house. Behind me, we have the hearth with a fireplace. This is a sealed door unit, 45 inches wide. It's from Hearthstone, it's that Montgomery unit. And with that French double door, that allows you extra clearance in a larger firebox. This can really put out heat. In fact, it could certainly heat this entire space. There are also a few other great benefits to a fireplace like this, where you could then release heat into the basement below us. So that is really great. You could recirculate it into your HVAC system. Above us is a custom mantle. The client saw this when they were at Golden Eagle. And after selecting their fireplace and this gorgeous brown Majolica finish, they had told us we'd love it if the mantle resembled that. So we had then sourced this hammered mantle and had it pre-finished so that it actually blends really well with this fireplace unit. Something neat to observe is that the fireplace itself somewhat simulates what we'd call a keystone. So that's also been done above. And then we have a soldier course following the curvature of the unit. This is great stone. It was picked out by the client while in our design center showroom, and it all comes together. We see some rich browns in there tying into this brown mantle and the fireplace unit, as well as, of course, this brown trim that's being used throughout the house. Now this material is Sashco's siding and trim, pecan. I point that out because so many are commenting in our videos asking what this color is. And here's what I love about it. The pigment in that color come over here. This gets hung up in the hand hewing. See all those extra dark accents? It amplifies the character that we have in the wood. I just love the way that looks. Let's come on through. We have 1-inch rebar on the spindles. We also have edge worn on the top and bottom rails. Our 8x8 newel posts with a great cut of 45 here, offering a really nice accent. So that rebar, oftentimes we feel that that ties into more of an industrial aesthetic. You don't have to be pursuing an industrial theme throughout your home to use it though, because oftentimes there are other black accents in the home. Oftentimes the word industrial gets used and it's really meant to represent that a person wants unique materials that you don't often see in homes. So whereas we're using that on the spindles, the clients then also selected a dining table that has these metal legs and it ties that element together. So nothing is too overboard. We've just got these simple representations of metalwork throughout the home. Isn't this a table? This is gorgeous. We've got live edge on both sides, an incredible amount of texture and wood grain in this. And I've never seen accenting on each side like what we see there. Now here's what I think is so intentional about what was done here. Notice that carpet, that rug below, it ties into this accenting color. I think that's brilliant. Now let's head over to the kitchen because of course the dining space is going to flow over to here. We all love gathering at the island. There is room for 3 wide stools here. I could certainly see 4 stools fitting in that space as well. There are decorative doors on each side of the island. The focal point of this island has got to be this beautiful GE Monogram Series gas range top. This is beautiful. I love all the gold accents that we see here, and it contrasts, pairs really well with the black that we have, of course, on the grates. We have the same countertop selection on the perimeter as well as the island. I think we're starting to see a trend back to that where the island and the perimeter are being made to be the same selection as opposed to the popular contrast of accenting the island. There's plenty of great usability on this island. Of course, you want to be able to have all your cutlery available to you when you're cooking, so that's why it's nice that we have such big drawers on each side. Behind me is the continuation of the GE Monogram series. This is an oven microwave combination. Just imagine you've got that big, heavy turkey. We have roll trays on this. It's all at a workable height. I think that's really nice and convenient. This is also able to be smart connected into your phone, so you can program different recipes. If you don't want to use your phone, everything is available on the touchpad here. Same thing goes for the microwave above. Microwaves are so much more deluxe than they ever used to be, and there's a lot more usability in them. So I think that's great. It also looks really good. Well, let's continue on. We have an ultra quiet dishwasher. A low decibel rating on a dishwasher is so important when you're in an open concept space like this. And then we have a cast iron enamel farmhouse sink. That's beautiful. What a statement piece and a really good contrast to the cabinets. Admiring these cabinets. When you get closer to them, you can really appreciate the glazing that was applied. The glazing highlights all the different edges that we have in the craftsmanship of the doors and drawers. Recall that we have 10-foot walls. The height of the ceiling at its highest is 20 feet. There is plenty of room for extra tall cabinets. Now just imagine that someone would have designed this where the door goes all the way from here to the top of the cabinet. It would have seemed unordinarily tall. That's why we've stacked this cabinet together. It's all built as one, but we have two different cabinet areas in this space. That's great for extra overflow storage, and it adds a lot more visual interest. Another great opportunity to add visual interest is to stagger the cabinets. While we oftentimes talk about staggering the height of cabinets, you can also stagger the depth, which is what we have in this corner. Accented the bottom of the cabinet with an additional molding. That also helps cover the lighting that's below the cabinet. Lighting isn't nearly as eye-catching as it used to be. What I mean by that is it doesn't stick below the cabinet very much due to the benefits of LED lighting being so minimalistic. Little details like this are what make it a Golden Eagle log and timber home. I am admiring this backsplash. While it does resemble that traditional subway running bond tile pattern, it in fact is a much longer tile, and I think it adds a lot of good character. I love the way the tile changes. It looks more rustic. While we're in a brand new home, we're pulling in some of those rustic, earthy, homey selections. I think that's great. Now, here's one thing, it's just so easy for me to overlook because we do it all the time, but I admire the precision of this cabinet design as well as the window layout. All of this was designed before the home was ever built. That helps ensure that the project stays on budget and everyone knows what to get. It also allows for the construction to go seamlessly. So think about that. All this was pre-planned. The precision of where that crown molding comes and meets the trim, as well as on the other side here, the equal spacing that we have, and we're taking into account the extra large trim that exists. It's little things like that that to me just jump out and say, this is a home centered around craftsmanship and detail. Let's look over here. We have a large pull-out pantry. The client said, this is our second home. We don't necessarily need a dedicated pantry, but it's great to have these extra large pull-outs, very easy to access. And then we also have a nice GE Monogram refrigerator. A lot of great benefits to that too. We even have a Keurig connected into that. I've never seen that before. Pretty neat. As we walk around this way, I admire the panel configuration that is on the side of that refrigerator end panel. So whereas a lot of people would leave that to be completely flat, and of course, you could think that that looks fine, which it does, but a home like this, you're gonna be seeing that all the time. And especially when you're doing that glazing on these cabinets, it looks so good and it adds so much more interest. So why not do that on the side of that big, tall panel? Right above me, we have what we would call a cased opening, but it kind of reimagines what most people think of as a cased opening because we've got this massive timber work around it. I think that's impressive. And I love the layout of this floor plan because if you're a guest and you come over, you can see that the bathroom is just that way, but it's also not directly connected into the public space. That tends to be something that people are particular on, and I think it makes a lot of sense that we have visual knowledge of knowing where it is, but we also don't feel like right as we walk out of the bathroom, the rest of the party is right there. As we come in from the garage, we've got an easy drop zone with a mudroom and laundry area. That is convenient when you're bringing in all those groceries, and we're not very far from the kitchen. Also, it's so nice to be able to have this bathroom conveniently located right near the garage. And then the first guest bedroom is just over here. This is a beautiful space, one that captures the view. What we've done is we've kept that window at the 8-foot header height, and then we've made it even taller by bringing it lower, closer to the floor. Wow, that is just such a great view. We've got beautiful doors in this home. Let's just admire what's happening here. Recall the cabinetry that we were looking at had this same panel configuration. This is great with the ovalo sticking and then a flat panel. We have a transom above, just like the transom that was in the bathroom next to it. Now this serves a lot of great purpose when viewing the home from the exterior because it brings a more balance to that wall. Just over here, let's head toward the mudroom area. We've transitioned to the same tile that was being used in the bathroom. And then we have a whole new cabinet selection, a rich mocha color. Now, while we have that rich mocha color, we've still kept the same door selection for the cabinets as well as the same hardware. In fact, we even have beadboard back here, and if you notice, there was beadboard on the back of the island as well. A couple things that we can do with a drop zone like this is allow cubby storage, in this case for baskets, or of course, if you've got tall boots, this is perfect. We've even seen clients who would like to have drawers in this space, and that certainly is available as well. It helps keep everything tidy. In fact, that's the benefit of having so much cabinetry in this space, is that there is a place for everything. I like that we have a great spot to hang up jackets and coats, and of course we are near the garage. And even take a look at the purpose of this. Yes, we've raised up the cabinets. Perhaps it's a bit more limiting in its space, but this is where you put the overflow paper towels, the stuff that you really stock up on when you go to Costco. And then we've got bars here, perfect for air drying your clothes after you pull them out of the dryer. Another intentional decision was to have the dog kennel integrated into the cabinetry. This is so convenient because you don't have that big bulky kennel in this space. Of course, you can continue with the countertop over it. I just think that is wonderful. Now let's keep in mind, we also have heated floors in this house. So with that in mind, even the dog is gonna remain cozy. I love all the work surface that we have here. There's plenty of room on each side of the sink. This laundry sink is 12 inches deep, 30 inches wide, and it is ultra durable. This is a granite composite. Let's admire the faucet as well. This is gorgeous. It's from Brizo, an ultra luxury faucet selection. They're always so innovative on their designs. This is beautiful with the way that looks. Oftentimes we talk about touchless faucets in the kitchen. Well, this makes a lot of sense because we are connected to the garage. So you're coming in from outdoors, you got dirty hands. You can simply do that chicken wing over here, touch the faucet, and it turns on. Here's what's special about the door behind me. This is a fire-rated house to garage door. It is still wood, and it's the same style as the other interior doors in the home. So while this is an exterior door, it matches, and it just goes together so well. We also have smart deadbolts on these exterior doors. That's convenient for easy access into the house. Speaking of convenience, you're gonna see boxes like this throughout the home. We've got one here. We also have one at the end of the hallway. These are all intentionally located throughout the house, and I'll touch on what they do when we head downstairs. The master suite is artfully designed with a chandelier above as the focal point in the room. So while this certainly could have been a vaulted ceiling, you get more of a cozy ambiance in this space. And we still have 10-foot ceiling heights, allowing plenty of space for that chandelier. How great is this? You still get the view, and then you have your own private screen porch area. That is wonderful. So I just love that in there. You heard that beep as I opened that. This home is secured. All the doors and windows, they have sensors on them, being that this is not a primary home. It gives you comfort and peace of mind. There are also cameras around the perimeter and incredible internet speeds out here, even though we are in the mountains. Big king-size bed with nightstands on each end. And I like how this window was brought down extra low, because while you do have this lamp as the centerpiece of the window, it still allows a lot more great light into the space, and then we can look down the mountain. We've had homeowners in the past utilize Lutron blinds and shades and have smart home integrations so that as the sun rises at different times of the year, you can set a schedule for your blinds to rise and of course to close in the evening time. But you can also have the easy convenience of a remote control. So all we have to do is click the button, and then that starts to release the shades down. Isn't that great? Look how these are all integrated. I just absolutely love that. Let's say you've got some harsh sun coming in, you just want them partially closed. You can then click the button to stop them just where they are. What a gorgeous bathroom this is. An extra long vanity with tapering heights, a makeup area in the center. There are undermount Kohler sinks accenting the quartz top. We've got Delta's Dryden series with that Venetian bronze finish. I love the 8-inch widespread, a full-length mirror. Even take a look at that outlet cover there. I always like the selection of CD glass on light fixtures. It looks so much better than clear glass. Glass textures, they look good. They also diffuse the light, creating a more soft effect. This is just a gorgeous shower. We've got pivoting doors on each side of it. The same setup. That is an impressive rain head. So we've got double rain heads, double handhelds, oftentimes called a hand wash. And what's great about this as well is that this is an adjustable height. And then we have an integrated diverter here. Let's talk about this. So this is your diverter. This changes where the water is flowing to, whether it's just the rain head or the hand wash or both. And then we have our own separate temperature control, and then this controls the water volume. So here's what's great about this bathroom. We've got two completely unique setups. You set your preferred temperature and you'll never have to change it. I love that. We've got a toilet around the corner, a really big vanity linen cabinet over there, and we're making use of the extra height that we have in this space, yet still allowing for a 6-inch bandboard. Now recall, we were doing a 6x12 bandboard in the main common area. We've reduced it. We're in a smaller space. Something like that would be far too heavy. So it makes sense that we've used our 2x6 material up there. We've continued with the same ceiling finish throughout the house. And just like that bandboard, we carry with the 2x6 trim around this window. This isn't an ordinary window. This is a Pella Lifestyles with a third operable pane. What that allows is window treatments between that operable pane of glass. So here we have the lever, and we can bring these shades down. Those could easily be blinds. Shades are great because they diffuse the light and they offer more privacy than blinds would. But blinds are also a great selection. We do have different color options as well. So while this lighter color is going to diffuse that light nicely, if we were doing this in the bedroom space, we would then do room darkening shades. I think that this is a must-have when it comes to thermostats. The master bedroom is independently controlled from the rest of the house. That way, if you want to sleep a little cooler at night, you can certainly do that without affecting everyone else. I also like the smart home integration that you can control it all through a phone app, because when you head out of town, you're gone for an extended stay, you're not heating the home while you're away. And then also when you're on your drive to the cabin, you can get the heat going ahead of time so that you're at that perfect temperature by the time you open the front door. And let's continue talking about integrated technologies in the home. So for those of you that would consider a security system in the home, imagine you're heading to bed at night and you forget to engage it. Instead of running over to that door, we have a second pad located here in the master bedroom. I think that makes a lot of sense, and it also offers you comfort in remembering that, oh, my partner had gone and done that already. so you don't need to go double check it across the house. Now that you've learned about the integrated shades in the master suite, we should also consider that it makes a lot of sense to do them above the kitchen sink. This is over 2 feet. Just imagine trying to reach up there. So now we can actually control them with the remote again. And another great thing is that it's integrated into the shade over here as well. Because while it's great that you're gonna have privacy over that kitchen sink, you might as well have it over here too, being that we do have that front covered porch entry area. Path lights coming downstairs make so much sense. In fact, something I realized I didn't point out in the master suite, there was lighting underneath the bed that automatically came on as you stepped out of bed, and it faced the master bathroom. Makes a lot of sense when you get up in the middle of the night. We also have a beautiful scooped finish on the risers of these stairs. It adds a lot of interest and character. Well, we have made our way to the finished lower level basement. And can you believe how tall these ceilings are? It's these extra tall ceilings that make that large fan feel appropriate for the space. And then another thing that we've done, it's a bit of a visual effect, is we had 8-foot tall doors on the first floor. These are a normal door height, 6'8". I think in scale, it all makes a lot of sense, and you probably wouldn't even notice the difference. We also have normal height doors in the rest of the finished lower level basement as well. These are huge 3-panel patio doors, 2 sets of them, allowing us great access, but more importantly, terrific airflow throughout the space. From that bedroom wall to that bedroom wall is 26 feet. And there are no posts down here at all. I think that's awesome. It allows for great recreational games like ping pong, whether you have a pool table. We even have plenty of room for furniture placement in here, and we can center around this fireplace. So this is a gas-fueled fireplace, a Golden Eagle 4x12 hand-hewn mantle. Very sleek, not nearly as tall as a lot of mantles are, but it makes a lot of sense. See, this firebox was raised up so that you have good line of sight. You can enjoy it and see it when sitting in the sofas. And then, of course, we are continuing with the soldier course, as you see there. And rather than making this mantle too tall, we're able to get more of a usable height out of it by having this only be 4 inches thick. We've got a pivoting TV over here. What a good sized TV. Great for a fun space like this. So just over here, we've got 2 queen size beds. Now you're gonna notice in this room, as well as the rest of this space, that we're using a 1x4 double bevel trim for all the door and window casings, as well as the baseboard. All of the ceilings have drywall on them, as opposed to the wood that we had seen upstairs. This is reflecting a lot of great natural light, makes the space feel more welcoming and inviting. There is even a full bathroom over there, and what a beautiful shower with the glass that's on it, another quartz countertop with that undermount Kohler sink. Upstairs, you had seen the same faucet, but in an 8-inch widespread, whereas down here is a 4-inch center set. The floor covering upstairs was an engineered hardwood, and you may have noticed that the direction of it faced the feature wall. It really draws your eye out. Something was done differently down here to connect both bedroom suites together. I like how this luxury vinyl planking connects through, very linear. Now, luxury vinyl planking is a floating floor. It makes a lot of sense on application over concrete, which of course is done here. If you're like me, you've got a vacuum cleaner that you bring around the house. Well, this is a great idea I've been eager to show you. This is a central vac system, and these are all discreetly hidden within the walls. You could bring this hose out, it extends out far enough where we could clean this entire space. There are different attachments that could be used. So whether you're doing precision cleaning along the wall to floor edge, or you could convert it into a vacuum as well. And when you turn this on, simple switch of a button, it's very quiet. And then you store this away, and it turns off by itself. That is convenient. Earlier I had mentioned that this home is 3,700 square feet. That does not include this space, which is the mechanical room. Yet it is finished off with the same materials that were used in the rest of the basement area. Got the luxury vinyl planking, baseboard, drywall, and look at this, there's even a drop ceiling. A drop ceiling would be a great consideration because then you can still lift those tiles out and get access to mechanicals if you ever want to run any future wiring. If you've loved the interior of this home, wait till you see what's been done outside. This is a cultured stone. We've even continued with that soldier course that you saw above the fireplaces. I've never seen this before above patio door units or any other doors in the house. I think that is a great detail and a great continuation of what was done inside. You see these huge spans? This is unbelievable. There's a post here, and we've got engineered wood products spanning this entire area. Unobstructed view. Wow, see, when you've got a multi-million-dollar view like this, you gotta make sure that you're working with a team that is taking that into mind when designing your home. This is pretty cool around the corner. There is an outdoor shower. So pretty wonderful, even if you just need to rinse something off. We see this oftentimes along lakesides. When kids come in from the lake, they've got muddy feet. It's just so nice to be able to rinse off. Access to the upper deck was well thought out with having a stair on each side. It also offers great architectural symmetry, but most importantly, it is convenient because one gives you direct access up to the master suite area, and the other, of course, takes you up to the dining room. And even beyond that, there are flagstone steppers heading to the front of the home. That's great access. Not only does it look good, but it's very practical. There is great landscaping and even hardscaping in this space. We see a beautiful border here. The hardscaping intentionally steps down to designate a dedicated fireplace space. We even have integrated into this, there is airflow allowed to come into this chamber, allowing for proper ventilation to get you a really good flame. What a good idea. The beautiful landscape design that you see here is also beneficial for water flow because we still are downhill. Now we need to mitigate that water flow and any sort of erosion from happening, and that's why you would use larger stones like this as well as other plants. There are many clients out there with land not nearly as steep as this, and they say, well, if it's my second home or our getaway cabin, we want minimal landscaping. We don't want a lot of grass, nothing to keep up. But in this case, it helps with erosion control. So it was very intentional to do that. Recall that we are on the western side of North Carolina, and there are so many great peaceful benefits of being in the mountains. But something to keep in mind is, imagine you lose power. The power company probably won't be servicing your property as quickly as it would for those in the city, which is why it's convenient to have a whole home generator on site. This 24 kilowatt hour generator can power the entire home, and it has come in handy when severe storms have passed by. Let's work our way around the house. You can see more beautiful landscaping. We have a lot of rocks here. This is forming more of a French drain style irrigation. Culverts are collecting water, and it is moving it away from the property to help with any of that concern for erosion. As we come to the front of the house, we can see that while the mountainside was very dramatic, the front side holds a lot of charm. I love the eyebrow roof overhangs that we have here. Even the mortise and tenon, authentic timber truss like what I had referenced inside the house earlier, we've got that on the exterior as well. Now, you may have noticed that there's something extra special about this product. This is a 12-inch tall, manufactured, fiberglass reinforced concrete log siding. So this is great. While it does cost a little more up front, you don't have to spend additional cost in the future staining it. It already comes pre-finished in this color. There are a variety of colors that the clients picked out at our design center showroom. This simulates more of a chinking aesthetic between each of these courses. So that offers some really nice contrast and interest, breaks up a bit of that wall finish. And we have some steel doors here, simulating a wood grain texture. Those are gorgeous, and what I like about them, to me what stands out is that there are 3 panels. A lot of garage doors are 4 panels. So 3 allows for those to be taller, and of course, goes with the whole theme of this house. Everything is taller. A way that we made this wall taller was, rather than having a flat soffit, we did a slope soffit. It allowed for that wall finish to continue up approximately 2 more feet. All the light fixtures around this home have flat LEDs in there, so it's not your traditional bulb that screws in and out. In fact, this whole space is open. It makes it much easier to keep it clean, and it certainly looks sleek. Whereas there was a vented soffit up there, we've gone to a 2x6 roof decking with a standing seam metal roof above. And then underneath that roof decking, we've got these big 6x12 timber rafters. Those all look so impressive, and they are massive, held up by these posts and those arched brackets. See, what I love about those arches is that most of the time, traditionally out there in the industry, that connection point is just flat across, it's straight. But we've got a double arch on the inside and the outside. I love that, I've never seen it anywhere else. The intricate detail that you saw in the timber truss around the corner on the side of the garage, as well as these arch brackets, that's all done with wood. And we're able to blend that with the concrete log siding thanks to our availability of high performance stains with a variety of colors. And over by the screen porch, we've added another texture as well, going vertical with the concrete log siding. I like how it protrudes away, it's proud of the rest of that material, giving it more depth and dimension. Get some really good shadows there. In each of the gables, the eaves extend out an extra foot, creating much more interest, so we go from 2 feet to 3 feet. There are so many incredible ideas on this North Carolina mountain home. Comment below with your favorites, and for more ideas, check out this playlist. This home boasts nearly 17,000 square feet. With 6 bedroom suites, 9 bathrooms, a home of this size is oftentimes reserved for close family and friends. But today we are grateful that the homeowners have invited us in to do a special feature tour. There are many great ideas, and there will be surprises around every corner. This home is encased with glass everywhere. We've got a huge window feature wall. Also, on the front side of the home, the entry, we are pouring in a ton of light. This is a distinctive architectural style that we see in many of our homes, incorporating the large hand-hewn timbers, a mixture of drywall, stone, and even take a look at the elements that are brought in with the sill stone here and the windows being brought all the way down. That way the view is not obstructed. Oftentimes, mountain homes like the ones that we design are meant to utilize the natural scenery as a part of the home's own decor. This home maintains a sense of warmth, which is rare in this size of home. The materials are meant to be tactily felt, from the graining in the wood with the hewn finish to the texture in the stone. This home is centered around entertaining and having family and friends around. This home transforms as the day moves from dusk to dawn, as the fireplaces become lit and all the lighting accents new features throughout the home. At first glance, once you get beyond the feature wall, everyone's heart is brought into the kitchen, which is the soul of the home. This is an impressive kitchen with a 16.5-foot long island. This is perfect for entertaining. Everyone can gather up with the bar stools. We've got matching refrigerators on each side, a 48-inch Wolf gas cooktop, and all of these cabinets, these are frameless cabinets. A very modern aesthetic. Also, frameless cabinets give you more access inside the drawer and the doors. We've got seating on the L shape of this island, and the seating continues on to this open screen porch area. This is pretty special. We can close off these doors and have it sealed where we still have our view outside, but as you see right now, they are completely opened. We can open these doors over here and pull the screen all the way across. Just imagine the great airflow throughout the home and how spacious this must feel. This is perfect for hosting and entertaining. Right above me, we've got a brick pattern barrel vault. That is beautiful. Now the roundness, the curvature of that vault is mimicked over here with the hearth. There's a round hearth down here, and take a look at this fireplace chase. This is special. With such a large chase, having an inset with an arched top adds a lot more depth and dimension. This fireplace is a wood burning unit. There's a mixture of gas and wood burning units throughout the home. Now this is a very special lounge space. Not only can we get a lot of great airflow from over there as well, but that airflow can go up into the upper bedrooms with windows up there as well. And take a look at the turret that we are within. A lot of terrific natural light in here. This home is accented with beautiful wall sconces throughout it on all of the stone pillars. And take a look at the glass partitions. We see that in a lot of the common spaces. It allows your eye to flow through and makes the space feel larger. This is an open concept home. You'll see that there are many huge bearing posts and big timbers spanning this entire area that allows this whole space to open up. We've got our quad post system over here, and you can see that flanking each side of this great foyer area. And this is an awesome laundry room. We are inside another turret right now. We've got perfectly round cabinets and wall finishes in here. It all comes together for a very specialized and accented room. In a laundry room like this, you will not run out of a place to fold clothes. There's also a lot of storage in here, and take a look at this tile. This is a beautiful hexagonal tile with different patterns in it. It's also got a cool tone, which is perfect for a laundry room like this. This tile is a statement piece, which is perfect when you've got more muted wall finishes. Over here, we've got a dog washing station, a huge pantry, but let's head over to this side of the home. There's still so much more to see. Inside here, we've got continued storage for all the pantry shelving, a great game board area, a ton of light pouring in, and look at all this bench seating. Great for when you have all the grandkids around and you're hosting a lot. Now let's take a look at the primary suite. There's a lot to see over here. We've got a continuation of these beams spanning this entire area, and all of a sudden the touches get a bit softer in here as we enter the primary suite. You should see what is beyond these doors. This is special. Immediately drawing your eye in is a freestanding tub, a corner window which overlooks into another room, high vaulted ceilings with timber trusses in there. Each side has a his and her vanity with a walk-in shower, a powder room area, the mixture of timbers and drywall, lighter finishes with these dark tones brings it together for a perfect feel. Now you should see what's in the master suite. This is a huge bedroom with a large accent wall, fabric lined, offering a very soft feel. Blackout blinds, all controlled electronically, whether through your phone or through dials on the wall. Just across the way, we've got a huge walk-in closet with plenty of storage. Now making our way back out to the foyer entryway area, it's perfectly natural to have a powder room over on this side and the staircase heading upstairs and downstairs right here. Now this is the perfect style for this kind of home. The metal brings an industrial feel. The oak with a driftwood finish gives more of the essence of a modern feel. These open timber treads really allow all that light to pour through. And then we've got a closed floor system heading downstairs. We'll check that out soon, but first, there is a lot to see up here. Now take a look at the wall sconces on the wall. We even see it at the top of this intermediate landing. And it's amazing how much more light just continues to come in. We've got a huge beam, and as you saw, that goes all the way through to the great room feature wall. It's neat to be able to see just the different dynamic elements as we get up here. You've got to see these timbers. This is absolutely incredible up here. It's amazing to be able to see the view, all this natural light pouring in. It feels spacious and cozy at the same time. Just taking in all these beautiful light fixtures as well. And you've got to see what's over here on the terrace. It is peaceful out here. Like many of our outdoor areas, we've sunken this deck down. That way it doesn't obstruct the view when looking out, and that's why there's this beautiful glass railing system. I'm standing atop of teak wood slat flooring, which is great for reduced maintenance. Above me are 2 large timber trusses, just like what you see in the great room area. That all carries through for a great continuation of that theme. And even take a look at these specialty windows. These are called corner windows, which don't obstruct your view. All of these windows are super energy efficient and nearly anything can be done. Now let's head back inside. Once you're up here in the loft, you really get a sense for how huge these timbers are. These are massive, and then above me, we've got rafters spanning this area, which provides support for our catwalk. We'll check that out soon. You'll notice a continuing trend of double posts throughout this home, and you even see that on the railing system as well. That mimics that design aesthetic. This end of the home has 3 guest suites, which is why it's great that there is a dedicated laundry area. We have a vestibule entering each of these suites, which offers a little bit of privacy from this common space. The 2 rooms on the back of the home, which face the incredible view of the water, have a walkout balcony. Take a look at these patio doors. These are huge. And what's great is we also have a dedicated screen. So if you just want that airflow on a crisp fall day, you can easily bring the breeze in. I could easily see enjoying a cup of coffee while you're just getting your day started. We also have an ensuite bathroom. It's very similar to what we see in the other guest suite. Each of these rooms have a special overlook into the Four Seasons room, which itself is enclosed within a turret. Now, speaking of turrets, you gotta see the 3rd suite on this end of the home. Facing the front end of the home, we are now within the turret. This is awesome. Not only do we have a beautiful chandelier above us, but the volume of this space, there's a lot of great light. The lights reflecting off the top of that ceiling, offering a lot of great soft light in this bedroom area. Now, speaking of light, it is convenient to have electronic blinds. So not only do we have a remote, so you can close these or open them whenever you wish, but you can also set it up on a schedule. Make it open for you in the morning time and close in the evening. This room has so many more features like the other guest suites. It has an ensuite attached, each of these having their own special tile shower area. Now let's continue on. We have a kitchenette over here, which just continues the theme of why this loft space is perfect for an extended family to stay in. Open shelving makes a lot of sense when you have guests visiting. Got plenty of countertop surface to lay everything out with a refrigerator, a sink, and a microwave. There's a utility room beyond that door. We can see the other side of the turret as we walk through. Now you've got to see what is on the other side of the loft. I think a lot of you might find this to be your favorite part. This home has 6 bedrooms. Now this bedroom alone sleeps 8 people. So this house is incredible for hosting. There are 9 bathrooms. There's an ensuite bathroom here as well with a great walk-in closet. And you're probably wondering, how did Luke get up there? Well, that's because we've got a catwalk connecting us from this side of the house to the other. This is absolutely incredible. I've never seen anything like this before. You really get a sense for the volume of this space. The massive hand-hewn timbers, the beautiful glass railing. We've got views out in both directions. This is incredible. On this side, we've got a great reading nook area with a day bed. We are inside of a flat dormer, and these are stacked dormers. You'll see that on the exterior of the home. There's a lot to see out there, but before we do, you must see the lower level. It has its own distinctive style. Let's head there right now. It is incredible down here. We've got a great mixture of modern and industrial. This is the perfect space for hosting and entertaining. Take a look at this bar. It's a much more traditional style of cabinetry compared to the rest of the home. So this has your full overlay with a walnut finish, a rich dark wood. All of the liquor is well lit, and we've got all that great light coming in from the outdoor fire pit area. You'll need to see that later. This column is massive, which gives you a great sense of the space. We've got plenty of room down here. Like I said, it's great for hosting, and it's bound to get rowdy from time to time, which is great to have a barn door at the bottom of the stair. We've got plenty of room for the shuffleboard table. There's a vault back here. This looks incredible, embedded into this massive stone wall, even with the stone encasing it. That is just cool. Really draws your eye. I think the simple finish of the copper penny makes a great accent on that wall. Behind me here, we've got a gas fireplace. A huge screen. Whether you're watching the big game or a movie, this is perfect. There is a great spot wherever you sit. There is also extra seating on the perimeter as well. Now this is perfect. Just imagine you've got the pizza sitting out, you're still finishing your drink, you're not missing anything sitting over here. And when you're done, you can easily get yourself cozy in one of these big chairs. These are also great for conversation, being that they swivel back and forth. Now, speaking of conversation, we highlighted this in the Timberlake home tour, the tour of an amazing home, where you can sit on the edge of the sofa. So that's great if you're still having some casual conversation. The lighting throughout this estate is incredible. I mean, just above me, we've got industrial style lighting. It is simple, but it really brings a big impact. And the wall sconces on each of those concrete piers. Even below me, this is a polished concrete, and it really brings a good heavy industrial vibe. Now take a look at this room. It is closed off by 2 big double barn doors. This is one heck of a play area. Not only is it great that the kids have all this natural light, but we also have plenty of storage for all their toys so it can stay tidy and everything is kept away in its place. We're seeing that a lot of our homes are smart enabled homes, and this is perfect with a tech center. This is the hub of the home with all the brains. There are 3 different bays with all of these servers in here. Everything is speaking to this. You'll even see tablets mounted on the wall, which is great for all the guests to be able to use. It allows you to control lighting, the light shades, even the gas fireplaces. Now behind me, this is a beautiful room. Here we are inside of the turret that's above us, that Four Seasons room. This ensuite has frameless cabinets. There's a tile shower over here with a powder room. And then just beyond this, there is an outdoor shower area. How great is that? When you're coming in from the water, you can get rinsed off before you head over to your bedroom suite. Now behind me is the garage. Let me show you my favorite part. These doors are incredible. It's amazing to have something so tall and wide, and being able to use this on the front of the home that doesn't detract from the rest of the home's beauty. This sunken garage is a great idea because we have extra tall ceilings. Not only are they vaulted, which is great if you ever wanted a basketball hoop in here, but this gives you plenty of clearance for the RV. There are even garage doors on the back side of the garage, which makes it easy for them to be able to pull all the way through. Coming from the house, the kitchen and dining room is right down the hall, and this is perfect for outdoor dining. We've got a gas grill with a dedicated fuel line. There's even a range hood above for great ventilation, although we've got all this open air out here. And take a look above us, a great continuation of the theme with the same barrel vault that we were seeing in the indoor dining room area. Now let's head on downstairs as we continue our way around the property. A common characteristic that we're seeing on the exterior is the incorporation of arches like what we saw inside the home. There's a massive amount of stone. This is rugged. These colors are tying in to all the hardscaping that we have throughout here. There's a wavy edge cedar accenting the stone. We continue up with that incredible feature wall, and all the glazing of that glass just reflects the sky from outside. It looks gorgeous. This is picturesque with a turret flanking each side of that feature wall. In everyday architecture, it'd be common just to make this a flat wall, but we care about the details. And when you take a look at this, bringing this out, creating more of a pilaster effect, adds a lot more depth and dimension to the wall. Speaking of dimension, it's pretty cool to see the lighting in this space. We're connecting over into the bar area. We've got these arches above us, and this is a great cigar lounge or just for hanging out. Got a gas fire pit over here. So this is fueled by propane, easy to light, right on demand. On our homes, you don't want to miss any of the details. A great accent feature is utilizing sill stones. We see it accented below that window, as well as the transition from stone to timber and wood. There are different dynamics when you have a home this tall. Many homes utilize recessed lighting in the soffits, but that would be so high up, it'd be hard to change a light bulb. These homeowners have utilized wall sconces on the exterior of their walls, which are easy to access with a ladder. The finishes on the front of the home are equally as impressive with more great ideas. Let's check it out. What a grand entrance. We've got the turret with its accenting pilaster. There's even a timber sticking out for extra detail. Now that is purely aesthetic, non-structural, although there are many structural elements throughout this home. I think also what adds the dramatic effect is the stacked flat dormers. Seeing those really offer great contrast with the eyebrow roofs that we see over the garage, as well as the top of the turret. A prominent wall finish that we have on the front of the home is the vertical board and batten. That offers great contrast with that horizontal wavy edge cedar. The addition of this dimension takes what is a very tall wall and breaks up the space, offering a lot of great interest. You see this great big band board that spans that whole wall. We see that inside the home too. So we're carrying many of the same elements on the exterior to the interior, giving a sense of structure and architectural integrity. Your roof finish material is often a supporting role to the overall color scheme of the home, but in this case, it makes a distinctive statement. Take a look at the pattern and the extra thick shingles. That offers great depth, dimension, and shadows. Undoubtedly, the primary focus of this view is the covered porch area with those double doors, 8.5 feet wide, the vestibule above with the timber rafters supporting it. This is dreamy. This is a distinctive tour with many great details. Comment below, let us know what your favorites are. We are in Tennessee, in the Great Smoky Mountains. We are high atop a mountain with incredible views. This is one of the most popular floor plans in Golden Eagle history, and you'll see why as we feature it for the first time on YouTube. You don't want to miss this. Log homes can be found all throughout the Smoky Mountains. Here we're surrounded by these incredible views and plenty of wildlife, and then to be able to incorporate all these natural materials into the home is just quintessential to mountain home living. This home is over 5,000 square feet. There are 4 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms, and it sleeps up to 10. While this is a primary home, it is centered around hosting family and friends for extended stays. We are in Sevier County, Tennessee, which is why it's so great with a view like this that it incorporates a prow wall. What's great about a prow wall is it gives you a panoramic effect, being that it projects beyond the ordinary living space of the house. Being at a higher elevation gives us more exposure to UV. And adding on to that, this is a southern exposure, which is why it was important for us to design these windows with Pella's sun defense glass. It makes for a more comfortable living environment in this space. It's also so much easier on the mechanicals. Now this is an impressive wall. These are Pella Lifestyles windows, and there's a pre-finished color applied to these wood units, and it has a cladding on the exterior, maintenance-free cladding. You'll see that as we do that exterior walk around. But look at how great these blend together with the stain that was used in this house. What a warm and rich color that was applied to all of these logs. Everything blends so well together. And then when you have the different planes of the logs and the timber trusses above us, it adds more shadow and dimension, which darkens certain areas, giving us a really good contrast. This is an impressive chase with a 45-inch double door Montgomery Hearthstone unit. That is a sealed door unit, and boy does it put out heat. The homeowners were telling us they get extreme conditions in this area. We are high atop a mountain, incredibly heavy winds, and they said that when it's storming outside, you don't even hear it. That is how quiet this home is. Part of that is because these are incredible windows. And another important key factor is this is a full log home. Just think about how dense these walls are. Now take a look at what's been done with these mortise and tenon timber trusses above. This pulls in timber framing construction, a great hybrid of construction methods that we see in our homes, because at Golden Eagle, nearly anything is possible. Here's what I love about these authentic timber frame trusses. We're able to achieve these great spans. This is 24 feet all the way across this room. And there are no mechanical fasteners being used. Not a single screw. Can you believe that? So these are all joined together with mortise and tenon joints, and then there are dowels securing them together. That is incredible. These timber trusses, as well as these vertical beams like what we see here, this is our hand-hewn texture. It's so unique to Golden Eagle. What I love about it is the way that it picks up different shadows as well as the stained pigment. It offers a really good contrast. And then it highlights the knots that we see here. Now, if you're new to Golden Eagle, you should know that we also have more finishes available, from chisel to even smooth. Now just imagine if we change these trusses from hand-hewn to smooth. It completely changes the aesthetic. On other feature homes, we've even taken it a step further and painted those trusses. It gives it much more of a modern and contemporary aesthetic. Timber trusses are a great way to designate space. In this case, we're designating the great room, and we also see it done over here in the dining room. Another great way to designate space is to transition the wall finish, which is what was done here. This is an incredible kitchen. There's such a great pop of color with the paint that was applied to the range hood, and that's even been carried over to the island. Now this was a custom color requested by the client. This is a Sherwin-Williams color called Rosemary. I'm sure many of you will want to know because it looks good in this home. Not only does the island bring that together, but this color is also an anchor throughout the home. You're going to see it repeated. The other finish that we have in this kitchen is rustic hickory with a toffee stain applied. The door styling is a raised panel. And look at the tooling that made for the grooves and allowing for these extra shadows. There was a desire for these doors to have a lot more character so that it offsets the painted finish. Now we of course have had kitchens that have painted finishes, and oftentimes a paint can make a kitchen feel much more contemporary, but in this case the color brings in much more of a cozy cottage vibe. The top of this wall up at the ridge is 20 feet. That allows a lot of great space to push this hood up and taper it, allowing it to draw your eye up just like the fireplace did exactly across the room. So there's really good symmetry there when you're standing in this space. Another great thing that was done is these wall cabinets were made into being double stacked cabinets. So we've got another cabinet up there. Just look at all that extra storage. That is perfect, whether you've got extra mugs or your seasonal plates and dishware. You're gonna see the incorporation of black hardware throughout this home. We even see it on the pot filler here. Who doesn't love a pot filler, especially when it's above a professional range like this? And I love the idea of having a double oven unit. So whether you're cooking multiple items at once, or let's say you're trying to prepare your sequence of the meal, of your meal prep, you could have one of these serve effectively as a warming drawer, just to keep those items warm while you're finishing up that turkey. This is more of a deluxe crown molding than most because there was an applied molding added to it, and we see that carried through to the range hood above. And the under cabinet molding, I love that. Whether you're doing under cabinet lighting or not, this is a really great way to finish it, and it gives us some more depth to the cabinet. When you're designing a kitchen, you gotta think about the flexibility of your drawers and doors. And oftentimes people do prefer having drawers because you can pull them completely out and get access to the back. Whereas if it were a cabinet door, you'd have to reach down into there. Of course, we can compromise and meet in the middle by having doors that open and then roll trays that pull out. In this case, this is the best. We have a big pantry pull-out. So imagine that heavy KitchenAid mixer, even the blender. Now it's easy to access and put away. And then above, we have access to spices and larger condiments. I like that they're all at a reading level, so you don't have to crouch down. Look at what's happened over here. We have really nice organization for the trays, even pulling out pans. We've got that color showing up again. As I said, we'll see that throughout the house. But just imagine how all these pots oftentimes get cluttered and they're hard to remain organized. Well, that is about as easy as it gets. This kitchen is optimized for the work triangle. Easy access to the refrigerator, the range, as well as the kitchen sink. Of course, next to the kitchen sink, you're always gonna find a wastebasket pull-out and the dishwasher. This is a Blanco sink. What's great about this sink is that it's incredibly durable. I also like that it's an extra large sink basin. If you're using the dishwasher all the time, then you certainly don't need a divided sink, so something for you to consider. The coil arc on this Moen faucet allows it to be the centerpiece of the island. Here are some great benefits to consider when designing your kitchen island. If you plan to have many guests sitting at the island and you're going to be preparing food, as this home would, being that it has visitors staying for an extended period of time, it's going to be nice to be able to keep this space isolated to the dishware and drinks. And then all the food prep can remain down here, out of sight. Another great feature of this is that it's just very comfortable. For those who are gathering around, they can stand at this island and they don't need to be seated, while others who prefer to be seated can remain there and be at eye level. It's these things we discuss with the clients to optimize the home for their use. Perhaps one more thing to consider with a raised island like this is that when it easily overflows into the great room space, you might prefer that those cooking items are out of view of everyone sitting in here. The hardwood flooring throughout this home is unlike any that I've ever seen before. This is a true reclaimed barn board. And take a look at the square dowels that were used in this flooring. You're gonna see that throughout this space. I like the accent of color of that. We also have variable planking width, going from 4 inches to 6 to 8 inches on this planking. Something to consider about the direction of flooring is that it can suggest movement throughout the house. So in this case, it directs you down the hallway toward the mudroom space. While we're in here, we are now in the dining room. We have views surrounding us. There is not a bad seat at this table. There is so much craftsmanship to this space that it could be a standalone feature of the house. Now think about that. How often have you been in a home where the dining room is spectacular? And in this case, it just accompanies what is already a spectacular home. That's what I love about this. We have a chandelier just drawing our eye in, but it doesn't completely distract from the surrounding view or the incredible truss above us. This is a large table. I love the furniture, how it ties into that floor covering. We have these massive trim pieces separating all these windows. This is the kind of stuff we think of at Golden Eagle. So imagine you're sitting at the dining room table. Okay, all of a sudden, you're now at a lower height. We want to make sure that those windows are low enough so we can still look down the mountains. It's stuff like that that's important. It would be a shame if those were kept at a normal sill height. We want to make sure that we are taking into consideration your land and the view. We want to optimize for the surroundings. And as we head toward the mudroom, we're flanked on each side with these massive hand-hewn timbers. We've got the full log construction leading us the way down into this space, and it's such a great overflow for whether it's boots or even the hiking poles as you head out to the mountains. And it's so nice to have a sink conveniently located just off of the garage. And there's even a dog wash with a hand wand. Now, this isn't an ordinary hand wand. It has soap integrated into it. It makes it so much easier to keep the dogs clean. And with this being in a main living space, it was important that it doesn't just look ordinary and utilitarian. It even has a tile surround. And there are some great accenting trim pieces on each side of it. There's such great intention. Another great idea was, so that this space doesn't feel overwhelmed by the dog wash, we've incorporated these 4x4 beams in there, offering a nice shelf ledge. This is so great with all the natural light coming into the space. Sometimes a mudroom can be a bit of an afterthought when designing, but with Golden Eagle, we want to make sure that you can enjoy the space no matter where you are in the house. So we still have mountain views off to each side, and look at all the great natural light. Just behind me is the door to the garage. This is an incredible garage. It's 30 feet deep and 40 feet long. That is huge. And this is a gorgeous door. A fiberglass door, it's pre-finished. We've got a 2-panel arch top with the planking in it. I even find myself admiring the hardware in this home. This has a cast iron finish. That's Delaney's Sandcast series. Got a nice slight arch to it, as well as the arch top on the back plate, which ties into the arch top of the door. I love what was done with the bench here, whereas oftentimes a person would have a big continuous slab. Golden Eagle's got these massive wood pieces that are so unique that make for really good benches. But there's already a lot of wood in this room. We've got the wood floors, the wood on the walls, that rustic hickory cabinetry. So this is a great way to visually break up the space and reflect a little light upward. It's also very easy to keep clean, and as we know, it is incredibly durable. Well, let's continue on. There's so much to show you. Now, while this is a primary access point with the entry from the garage, I need to show you where all the guests enter the home. That's right where we started the tour, and there's a lot to see over there as well. This home flows effortlessly throughout all these spaces. We enter a nice dedicated Four Seasons room. We can see that full log construction. What a great side profile of all of that. When I began today's tour, I'd mentioned that this is one of the most popular floor plans in Golden Eagle's nearly 60-year history. The original home was featured on HGTV. That home had a Four Seasons room as well, and boy, was that popular. Now, I like to think that it was popular because of the aesthetic. Of course, we all love that cabin aesthetic with the fireplace in it, and in a room like this where we've got the great views. But I think what it does is it tells a story. It tells a story of inviting friends and family to all come together. A place where everyone would want to join and no one would ever want to leave. And that's what happens in these homes. And I think that's what makes a room like this so special. Now, anything is possible with Golden Eagle. You're designing your own custom floor plan, and you'll see that there are so many unique features throughout the rest of this house. So let's continue on. As we leave the Four Seasons room and the foyer area, we have a full bathroom conveniently located just off this great room living space. And then it also serves as an ensuite to this guest bedroom just over here. This is not an ordinary guest bedroom. This is probably the favorite guest bedroom because of what's above me. Take a look at that loft. There are 2 extra beds up there. We have ladder access to get to that space. What a great use of these high vaulted ceilings. That's a terrific benefit of building a ranch style home, is that we can then create these custom spaces that make the home so charming and unique. For perspective, this is a king size bed in this room, and when you're designing a home like this, you're gonna have oversized furniture. This footboard and headboard, these are massive. So these are things to keep in mind when designing your floor plan, and we're gonna wanna know about it to make sure that we're optimizing the layout and space of the room. We have a beautiful barn door. The clients saw this when they visited our design center showroom. Certainly, we could do all the doors in the house with this reclaimed material, but when it comes to a barn door, it's a great opportunity to accent the space, and it pulls in to this reclaimed floor planking that we have throughout the house. As featured in other videos, a must is to have barn door hardware that has nylon rollers that keeps them whisper quiet. And then we also love having the soft close mechanisms because there are 2 benefits. We of course know that they allow for the soft closing of the door, but here's another great benefit. They hold the door in place. That is not something to overlook. Whereas that loft above us served a great purpose, it also, I think, designates the space and we can have this flat ceiling. And then the studio vault above me, there's a great opportunity for the wall sconces to fill that volume of space. We've got the same railing that we had seen up in that loft with a 1-inch rebar, the pine top and bottom rails with the worn edges applied to them, and these massive posts. Wow, so that is just so great, and you'll see those stairs as we head down there. But before we do, we still have a whole master suite to show you. This is the laundry room. We've got access into the master closet. And then this is a really good cleaning closet. That's important to keep in mind. You want to keep your cleaning supplies centrally located in the house. How often are you cleaning up in the kitchen? You want to be able to grab those supplies. We have an overflow pantry just over here. And then this is access to the master suite. There's another barn door like what we had seen in the other room. And the master suite is incredible. The mountain views draw you into the space with the soaking tub below. Got beautiful tile, a nice accenting rug, and the same cabinetry that we had seen in the kitchen. So that's something to keep in mind, that if you like it enough to put it in your kitchen, you may want to consider putting it in your master bathroom, a space that you use all the time. I just love these mirrors. The way that it lights you up from the front, but then it's also backlit. It casts some wonderful overflow ambient lighting. These are gorgeous granite tops with a leathered finish on them. The undermount sinks. Now, something that I really like about these sinks is that they're not oversized. It's just a very normal size. We want to make sure that you've got plenty of space on the countertop remaining. And how often do you need a large sink in the bathroom anyway? Got an 8-inch widespread on those Delta faucets in the Venetian bronze finish. I always like it when a bathroom allows space for us to taper these cabinets to different depths. So we're going from your traditional 21-inch deep cabinet to 24. 21 is traditional in a vanity setting. 24 is your kitchen depth. And allowing for that different contrast gives us an opportunity to contour this granite top. Adds a lot more interest and a bit more working space here. And then we have an 18-inch deep cabinet that sits down onto that top. It is simply so convenient to be able to access your toiletries at eye level. From the entry point into this room, this is 24 feet. That's as wide as the great room was. And this whole closet, it starts from about here and goes all the way back. There's an extra large closet in there. We've got the vaulted ceiling, full log walls on the perimeter, and of course, we have that view. Now here's what's great. We've placed the bed on this outside wall, so when you're laying in bed, that is your view corridor. It's stunning. I love the accenting color. This ties in to that accent in the kitchen. That's wonderful. We've got taller windows allowing us to look down the mountain as well, because recall, we were at the top of the mountain. So it's not just about the views looking out, it's also the views looking down. This bed is incredible. We've got a king-size bed. The footboard and headboard, so I'd mentioned it was large in the other room. This is even bigger. And here's what I love about this. It has that mortise and tenon joinery with the dowels in it. I always like accenting the dowels darker. I want to bring attention to that. It gives a signal that, hey, that is traditional craftsmanship put into that piece. Here's something that's commonly done on authentic full log homes. We've got the full logs on the perimeter, of course. And then we could do drywall on the inside, but many clients, they want that wood and the character, but we can still lighten it up with the smooth finish of that premium end match tongue and groove. So it reflects some good light, offers good contrast with the stain that was applied to the logs. Here's something to consider when designing your master suite. By placing the bathroom as a buffer between the primary bedroom and the common space, it allows for this bedroom to be a bit more removed. I think that is something to consider. This home tour is just going to keep getting better as we head downstairs. Many of our clients are eager to incorporate a half log stair into their home, and this is perfect for this space. By eliminating a riser, your line of sight is able to flow through, and more importantly, all of the natural light. This is great because the overflow adds more interest to the staircase itself. We've got these massive 8x8 posts in this room, but what you'll notice is there are no other posts anywhere else. Can you believe it? Here we've got this 24-foot span. Think of all the basements you've been in the past, and I mean, it's just an absolute shame to even call this a basement. This is like a main floor living space. But what I'm getting back to is there are no posts, perfect for the pool table, and these ceilings with that 11-foot height and then the bright wood on the ceiling, it reflects a lot of great light into this space. Whereas the fireplace upstairs was 12 inches wider, this makes more sense because we are in a smaller space. Still that impressive stone mantle. I love the use of the hearthstones on top of the mantle. We don't see that often enough. This is great because it creates a nice flat edge. The hearth is recessed a bit to allow for more appropriate walk space to each of the French doors. Just over here we have a kitchenette. The combination of utilizing that massive accenting header as well as recessing the wall in allows for the designation of a kitchenette. We've got everything that you need when you're enjoying this space. I even like that we've got a candy station. Of course, the grandkids love it when they're here. So they got everything they need, even with a mini fridge and a microwave. We've got beautiful cabinetry with the rustic hickory in a natural finish. The same crown molding that was upstairs, even with that accenting applied molding. I absolutely love that. All the wall finishes that you see in here are the end match tongue and groove, and then you're gonna see a change in the trims that are used around the doors and windows. Whereas we had that massive trim upstairs, this is a 1x4 double bevel. This premium product is so nice, everything is smooth. Using a lighter stain like what you see here allows for a great appreciation of the variability that exists within this ponderosa pine. We can see that the darker auburn colors are the heartwood, the harder areas of the wood, and it accents very nicely with the soft area of the wood. Decorating a recreational space allows so many creative opportunities where you can get a bit more quirky. And what's better than this? We've got 5 seats pulled from a theater that was built in the mid-50s. These don't take up too much space, got ample room for when you're playing pool, and now you've got a place to sit when you're waiting to play the next game. And the fun continues over here where we've got a few game tables, another vintage bench, and the great views. Now here's something special about Pella's Impervia fiberglass windows. There is an option for a slide crank. So to open these windows, we release the latch, and then you can slide it to open it. There is a fun opportunity where when you come down the stair and we've got this intermediate landing, we could head out to this large open space, or we also have a cozy space right in here. This is a cozy space, still using some similar principles to that original wine room where we've got the stone accenting with the massive timbers. So that's wonderful. Just think about that. We don't have to decorate that wall at all. And there's still such great shadows and colors. It's gorgeous. It is a feature wall. Got some beautiful decorations over here. The whole home is so well furnished. Now, here's what I really like about this space is that it's intentional. It has purpose. It's not trying to be something it's not, and it's not trying to serve multiple purposes. It's just that cozy room where you come and you throw something on the TV. The room does overflow over to here, making it easy to join the rest of the group or access to the bathroom as well as both bedrooms. Now, when I stand back here, I can really appreciate what was done in that room. See those 8x8 timbers? Those are designating the space. They just stop there and they don't continue through the rest of the room. This bathroom features a double vanity, an extra tall linen cabinet, plenty of drawer space. With the young grandkids, of course, you're gonna wanna make sure to have a tub available, but it doesn't have to be one of those generic tub shower combination units. By incorporating tile around it, it keeps it at that same high premium level that you see throughout the rest of the house. As we make our way down the hallway, we've got 2 bedrooms in here, each with king-size beds and distinctly decorated. We've got a wonderful ski theme in here. We can see the bear on the bed. There are bear on the property. This room has all the same wall finishes as the other, but by varying the decor in the space, it feels distinctly different. This home is oriented to have incredible views out of every bedroom. As we make our way outside, I gotta show you this hot tub. This is great. It's built like a heavy-duty truck tonneau cover, and the intention for it is to be easy on the back. Now, think of how much more you'd have to clean this hot tub if the bears were using it. That way, we gotta keep this thing bear-proof. So that's awesome. I think it's incredible. Don't have to worry about that bulky cover on this hot tub. And now let's work our way over. We've got a stair heading to the upper deck. As we look around, we have this incredible fencing. It helps protect you from the big edge of this. So the mountain actually continued all the way up to the peak of the house. And then all that was graded away and then used as fill around the area. We still have great views from this lower level. And as we come up here, they even get better. As you saw inside, we continue to use the 1-inch rebar for the spindles. Not only does that carry more of an industrial aesthetic for this house, but it also allows for your eye to pass on through. We could go two directions here. We could work around the wraparound porch and head out front, but I need to show you something over here. I love how this space was dedicated to a grilling station. We've got a nice shed overhang with the exposed rafters. A great benefit to this is whether it's raining or snowing, it gives you more protection and coverage. When I look off in the distance, I can see this massive retaining wall and then all the grass. The grass is important as well as the other landscaping. That way we help absorb water to prevent erosion on the property. Erosion is something that is so important when building in the mountains, and these are common things that you'll see on our mountain home projects. Let's head the other way. We've got the prow feature wall with that stone. We've got our 8-inch full log material. This wraparound covered porch was a must-have for our clients. They said that when designing this home, it was something that they would use all the time. It keeps us out of the elements and it makes it easy to get around your home, especially when you're on property like this where the grade changes so easily. The hewing on this material looks so good, and then with all these recessed lights, this home looks stunning in the evening. When we come to the front door, let's draw some appreciation for it. Notice the extra wide side lights. Those are 14-inch side lights. An ordinary side light would be 12 inches. This is casting some beautiful light into the foyer, and this is a heavy water glass texture. So that's a pretty high obscurity rating, giving you privacy. We can't even see into that space and make sense of what objects would be beyond there. So we get the benefit of the natural light, and we also get the benefit of privacy. Continuing with that cast iron finish, it's simulating cast iron, it's not truly cast iron, so of course this still is maintenance free. So we got that big handle set there. The shakes, those are cedar shakes above the door, drawing your eye up. And as we step away from the house, we'll see that the gable covered porch is accented with a log turkey track. We also have that applied over on the garage side too, where we have another big gable and the cedar shakes behind it. Of course, you could continue with more of the log material, but the shakes offer a really nice contrast. A bit more of a subtle backdrop, allowing this big truss to accent off of it. And then all the light that's behind the truss allows it to be backlit in the evening time. It's very dramatic. These are huge garage doors, great for your extra large vehicles. Now this would be what I would consider an ordinary size garage door, but in the case of this home, this is great for the side-by-side and utility vehicles. You should see what's over here. We've got a dedicated workshop, an extra tall garage door. We're continuing with many of the same materials as what was on the home. Stone has been applied to the first 2 feet of this wall. We've got a really nice covered area over here. Just another wonderful gathering space, as well as a nice swinging bench. We can get a sense for the property. I mean, truly, when I said we're on top of the mountain, it dropped off over there and it continues over here and it just goes on and on. This home sits on over 100 acres of privately owned property by these clients. The driveway getting up here was 7/10 of a mile long. So that is one heck of a driveway. And can you just imagine the grade of it? So the complexity of getting materials to the job site would probably intimidate most, but for Golden Eagle, we see this all the time. When you're designing your own custom log home, you can pick whatever corner system you prefer. A very popular one is the one right behind me, the butt and pass corner. So we also have a service door with access to the garage. So that's great when you're walking around the house. Got some great windows that flood light into the garage as well. I still love the accent of the shakes above. As we work our way around, we'll see that we have wonderful views of the home as we approach up the driveway. If you like this Smoky Mountain log home, then hit the like button and leave a comment. For more great ideas, follow this playlist.